the Commonwealth Bank Trophy.
Hello everyone and welcome to Vodafone Arena in Melbourne. We've got 3.5 hours of netball action ahead, and first up it's the Jaggers against the home team, the Kestrels. Neil Cross is my name and I'm your host, and with me the expert is Eloise Southby-Halbish. Now Eloise, these two sides, wins have been hard to come by. They'll be desperate.
Well, they will, and I think today is all about getting a win. They really have not lived up to their expectations, both the Kestrels and the Jaggers, and I think really today they've just got to guts it out, and whoever comes through with the goods is on a stepping stone to better things to come.
Let's talk about height and Jane Olswager for the Jaggers. She was very important last week for her side. She scored 50 goals. How's it going to be at that defensive end for the Kestrels?
Well, it's interesting to note that the Kestrels have actually lined up with Rebecca Strawn on her, and I'd say there's going to be a very big height advantage for the Jaggers with Jane Olswager there, and I think it's great they're playing her at goal shooter rather than having her run around. I think she can stand in there and pop those goals in really well, so I think that's going to be a positive thing. And look, my heart's saying Kestrels, but I think my head today is saying the Jaggers.
Well, you mentioned Rebecca Strawn. We talked to her, and also Lara Wellham, about the importance of this match, and confidence will be a big factor.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a disappointing start for the Kestrels. We had our own expectations and unfortunately we haven't lived up to them so far. But if we go out confident and we play our best netball that I know we can, I think we'll get a win on the board.
Yeah, the Jaggers are coming in this match with a bit more confidence than the last couple of weeks. We've had two big losses, but last week we had a big win, and we're just looking forward to rolling this on to the Savo's game and having the big win. Training's been good and we're looking forward to it.
So the scene is set, and it'll be a very interesting match this afternoon as the players just being introduced on court. And you just wonder how the Jaggers are going to go, Eloise. Their record on the road is pretty appalling. They've only won 4 times in the history of the National Netball League on the road.
Well, I think today they're actually going to try really hard to rectify that problem. I think they've got the best chance they've ever had to beat Melbourne on home soil. And look, the Kestrels, I'm really hoping, being a Melbourne girl, that they can actually put a really good 4-quarter performance out, and that's what they have struggled to do in the last few weeks. I really think Jane Olswager is the key to this match. If she can be strong and dominant in that goal circle for the Jaggers, I don't think the Kestrels have someone to line up on her, but she has to be strong, dominant and accurate, and I think that's the key to today's game.
Well, the two sides, obviously, as we mentioned, lacking in confidence, but last week certainly a boost, even though in many respects the Darters' victory for the Jaggers was very, very easy.
It was, and I think confidence, they talk about it, but it's about getting out there and doing it, and I think that was what both coaches will be asking for today.
Sam Dennis is on the sideline as usual, and Sam, you've got some team news for us.
Thanks, Neil. Well, as you know, this is a do-or-die game for both teams, but especially the Kestrels. The Jaggers haven't had the best start to the season, but I really think once they get on court, if they click, they're going to be extremely dangerous. One to watch will be Jane Olswager. As you said, she shot 50 out of their 56 goals and really dominated the attacking end. The Kestrels, well, they've had a few tough teams quite early, and although they haven't come up with the win, they've had a few moments of brilliance. So I think if they can just string together 4 quarters, we're in for a great game.
Thanks for that, Sam. Just about set for a start in this match.
Ready?
And we've talked about confidence. Obviously, that means that the first few minutes of the game, vitally important for these two sides.
Well, that's when you actually get your confidence. If you're in the mid-court, give off a few good passes or a good feeds, or come through with an intercept as a defender, initially at the start of the match feeling pumped, you're thinking this is going to be my day today, and that's what they'll all be thinking now. They all want that. They talk about confidence. Let's get out there and do it, girls.
First quarter underway, and immediately a little tip away. Strawn at the back collected the crumb, if you like. And now Nash down the court quickly for the Kestrels.
And it's great to see Maddie Brown at wing attack for the Kestrels, a young under 17, under 19 player for Victoria, and has done well at Nationals, and she's getting the reward, so it's brilliant.
The penalty there as we just look through that Kestrels lineup with Thwaites and Booth in the goals, and obviously there's a big gap that is there for them this season in the goal shooting circle.
Well, certainly Sinakid has defected to the Melbourne Phoenix, and that is a big loss for them, but look, it's about one of those young guns there for the Kestrels stepping up, and look, Caitlin Thwaites just shoots a goal there, and that's one of the girls that I'm asking to step up.
from the Jaggers, obviously we've mentioned Allschwager, and the feed to her from Wellham and Ether going to be very important.
It sure is, but also Katie Bradstock, who's having a great season actually. She's been very fit and also, yeah, controlling that midcourt for them nicely.
It's a penalty called there, and Rensburg out of play. Bradstock with the penalty, and now the ball advanced inside the circle for Wellham. Should be up and in, you'd think, for their first goal.
It's interesting, Rebecca Strawn there sort of grimacing when the umpire pinned her up. She's got very good timing on that jump, and I know training against her at with the Australian camps, you know, she can easily reject balls when you wouldn't think she would.
I love my social netball, and I love playing in goal defence, and they ping you every time. You get centimetres in front of the 3 feet rule, and they will ping you every time, the umpires.
Yes, it's one of those netball rules. It's quite frustrating sometimes, but look, when a defender gets it right, gee, it's a great part of our game.
Now Brown with the feed, and as you can see, it's pretty tough in there.
That's what happens. You get 4 bodies in that small goal circle. It is quite heated, and there's a lot of pushing and shoving, but, you know, you just got to stand strong and demand the ball. That was actually a really bad turnover.
Thwaites and the Kestrels have started really well. Maybe a bit of nerves for the Jaggers, but you'd think, coming off that victory from last week, you'd think they shouldn't be displaying too many nerves. Down the court quickly. Oh, there's another bad turnover.
They're actually, the Jaggers are on this transverse line heading into attack. They're having a lot of trouble getting it over, the defence of the Melbourne Kestrels. That's a good start for the Kestrels.
Contact, wing attack, goal third.
Almost a good move by there by Ether. Strawn was about to pass the ball and then held it up just for a moment. Almost the turnover. Instead, it was a contact. And now it's into Thwaites. And
quick
she let
hands
it go
there.
Very quickly.
Yeah, good quick hands. Andy Booth was ready for that, so it was great.
Good start, 4-1.
Talk about confidence. This is, the Kestrels have come out. They've talked about it, and they're really making sure they set a good example, getting off the mark really well.
And that's a commentator's nightmare, because immediately they do a turnover when you wrap them up for what they've done.
It's always the hoodoo of the commentator.
Now Ether, dangerous pass. Wellham took it nicely, was contacted. Thompson will be out of play. It'll be 2-on-1 inside the circle, and Wellham will be the player they go to. No, shorter to Allschwager and then Wellham.
He's a bit late coming in there by Brooke Thompson. Becca Strawn did the right thing. When you've got 1 defender in there on 2 goalers, you should try and be moving around and trying to make it hard to pick which goaler to throw it to.
So that goal and then a centre pass. They can bring that margin back to just 1 goal, the Jaggers. And that was kicked out of court.
Playing a bit of football, I think.
Now Wellham to bring the ball back in.
Good tip though by Chelsea Nat. She tried to come in the air and land on the outside of the circle, but unfortunately just stepped in, so it's offside.
Wellham now with mid-range shot, and nicely done. And the margin's 1. Jane Searle watching on. As the Kestrels going to attack again. Brown with the feed. And Booth will be contacted, and
There's another
there was a contact off the ball, yes. So Thwaites hesitated. Hate to see that as a shooter.
Well, she's just got to actually turn and put them up. She's a great shooter, and, you know, she's just got to back herself and believe that she can put them in.
Eventually she put that in. John Fletcher, he's had a tough start as the first male coach in the CBT.
And it's interesting, every time you have a new coach, it's about learning and developing and how they sort of get through to the players and communicate their skills. So it will be challenging for him, but I think he's up to the task, so it'll be good. Good to see them come away with a few more wins.
Van Rensburg isolated. She didn't have a defender in front of her, but she didn't have anybody coming and making space either.
Good defence here by the Jaggers. The Kestrels are finding it very difficult to penetrate onto that goal circle.
Finally, they do, courtesy of a penalty. Now Brown No, Booth will take the ball for offside. So Booth shouldn't have any problems from here. She doesn't. Again, Kestrel's out by 3 goals, and they've got the centre pass.
When I do look at Maddie Brown at wing attack for the Melbourne Kestrels, I see a young Shelley O'Donnell, and I think she's got all the attributes there. She's strong, she's dynamic, and I think it's great to see such a young player getting out there. And look, if she can even do half of what Shell did, Shell's been an absolute legend of our game, so it's great to see someone in the mould of her playing out there.
Shelley O'Donnell finally calling it quits in the off-season.
Well, I'm actually not sure that she has called it quits, because I called her and had a chat, and she said, oh, I haven't officially retired, so we might still see her come out at some stage. Having a rest at the moment, maybe.
It'll be a big bonus the way they're moving the ball at the moment with Thwaites. Another goal to put them 5 goals up. They've hit the last 4, the Kestrels. It'll be a bonus then to have O'Donnell feeding the ball.
Great shooting, perfect. Didn't even hit the edges of the ring. That's confidence booster for Andy Booth.
Hasn't missed one yet, 3 from 3. 6 goals, dangerous margin now in favour of the Kestrels.
That's what the Jaggers need to do. That's what I was talking about. There's that real height advantage there with Beck Strawn. And if you have a look at it there, the replay, up it goes into the space behind Jane Elschwager, so she can just lean into it and grab the ball.
Thwaites hesitant, but again able to get the goal. Just maintaining that 6-goal margin halfway through the opening quarter.
The Jaggers have really got to, off this centre pass, score. You don't want to get it too far a lead there for the Kestrels.
Eater, well, completely misread where her teammate was going in Bradstock and turned it over straight to Thompson. So they're down the court again. Thwaites, nobody in the circle. She'll have to go out and in. And they are doing a fair job in defence, the Jaggers, but there's just so much ball going down there.
There is, and it's actually the placement of the passing. Now, they're swinging it nicely between the attackers. So Chelsea Nash and Maddie Brown are doing a very good job there. And they're being assisted down the court by Brooke Thompson and Leah Van Rensburg. And if you can get that run from your defenders, geez, it helps.
Still retain possession on offside call there in Booth for the Kestrels. And Brown with a nice feed again, finding the space. Thwaites with another goal. And 12 plays 4 as we count down to 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. And Olschwager wasn't 100% confident on that ball, but she did get it in the net.
She just blew it in at the end, just, you know, puffing there. Get that in. Good hands over pressure there by Bradstock.
Thwaites no room to move, and in the end an intercept.
Great defence there by the Jaggers. They really put the pressure on the outside of the ring and turned it over.
It was Menzies in the end that got the ball. That's, well, another one for Olschwager. I was about to call that short. Not quite. And they need to make this sort of run, don't they?
They do, and look, they need to work it down and onto that ring and get it into Jane, who can hold strong.
That's what Olschwager's trying to do, and that time.
Oh, I thought she might have actually flicked that in, but unfortunately her toe must have been over.
Strawn, real battle in there with Olschwager. She's giving up inches, and Ether, that was desperate, just couldn't get it.
Read that really well then, coming through for that intercept. Good tip.
Last time down court, Menzies with the intercept, that time just tapping it out of court. Now that time, Thwaites had great position and just got her player away in Costa, and the ball was nicely put over the top.
Exactly, it's all got to do when you're a holding goaler, and that's your game plan. It's all about the placement, so it's your feeders being able to put it into the space, not where the defender is, but into space.
And with that penalty,
now it's interesting,
yeah, it's a 2-on-1 now. It should be
2-on-1, and you're watching the circle. They're trying to set a screen to try and open up one of the goalers.
Well, it becomes execution in that situation.
It does. Jaggers are going to try and peg a few back here in the last 4 minutes.
Oh, an 8-goal lead. This is easy. Just the intercept there, Strawn missing. That allowed the simple pass from Ether into Olschwager. Brown forcing her way through, but the call was on Menzies for the contact. Brown thus getting easy access to the top of the circle and feeding Booth. Plays 7.
They're shooting really well, actually, the Kestrels. They're on 94% for the quarter, and that's outstanding shooting.
One of the few times Olschwager's been allowed to make that move.
That's 6 from Jane, and here she goes. Swing it to the top, and placement there over into space. Great holder. She needs to do that for the whole game.
Now Booth from the top of the keyway.
She is doing extremely well, Andy Booth, today. 5 from 5 so far in this first quarter.
Again, Strawn desperate, just knocking that ball away.
That's a great thing for an up-and-coming young defender. You should be looking at Rebecca Strawn and how she plays. She's actually staying on her player, but when she can see the swing to a pocket, she's coming out strongly looking for that intercept. And it's a great ability to have to be able to read that ball. Great timing there by Rebecca Strawn. Oh, unfortunate, she did try and chase up that rebound, but contacted. So Wellham's going to have a shot.
And Wellham well knew she was going to miss that shot, so she was already on the way to where the ball was going to end up.
Exactly. Great that a goaler can try and put the shot up and follow the ball in just in case it does miss. Obviously, you never want it to.
7 goals the margin, 2 minutes left in the opening quarter.
And it's going to go straight in here. Oh, push off on Caitlin Thwaites, the umpire's called, using her arm there in the back.
So the Jaggers, breathtaking move down the court. It was very quick, and Strawn just a little too severe in her contact on Olschwager there.
Very lucky for the Jaggers because it wasn't actually a good feed. It went way over the top of Olschwager's head, but she did get a little shove, and that's why she got the penalty.
Immediately, well, that was out of court in the end.
It was well kept in, but obviously either couldn't actually pull it in, and it's a Kestrels ball on the sideline, mid-court.
Again, Thwaites setting up inside, and they feed her perfectly, and it was Brown that time. And just in off the front hook.
Just got him. We've got 1 minute to go in this first term.
7 goals to Kestrels, and Brown another perfect feed. Thwaites will get another opportunity. An opponent there in Costa penalised.
It's a good start by the Kestrels. They'll be very happy going into quarter time with this lead.
Ether Bradstock, and they'll look to get it in quickly. Jane Olschwager hitting.
Thompson,
Thompson coming through, and Olschwager just hitting the ground.
Yeah, it was just tangling of legs there, but a great shot by Jane Olschwager. She's shooting very well. She shot 8 for 8 in this opening term.
One last opportunity possibly for the Kestrels. They'll look to get it in. And there probably won't be enough time for this, or will there? Just away, and that'll be the end of the first quarter. So a good start for the home side, the Kestrels. And at quarter time, it's 18-11, 7 goals the margin in favour of the home team, the Kestrels.
Look, I think the Kestrels are going to be extremely happy with their first quarter performance. Talking about confidence, getting out there and actually doing it is another thing, and they've done just that. So Caitlin Thwaites has been very dynamic in this first quarter, pulling in a lot of balls. But I must also commend the work of their centre court. Nash and Brown have been the reason why she's been able to open up and present, and that's been fantastic. She's been able to put in the nice long shots, which really sink the defender's confidence when a goaler can do that. So, look, the nice feed there again by Chelsea Nash. It's looking too easy down there.
13 from 14 are the figures for Thwaites. And as you say, if you get well fed, then you get good position to shoot those goals.
Exactly, and it's just opening nicely. They're swinging it, even if it's not coming on the first pass. They're balking it, making the defenders move one way, and she's opening and presenting. Look, I think Emma Costa, that they may have to look at doing something there. They've got Danielle Harvey on the bench. Maybe that's a call that John's going to do for the Jaggers.
We're going to have a listen to Jane Searle, obviously very happy with the Kestrels.
Missed the goal yet, so really get in their face and make sure you defend that centre part, defend the shot on the thing. Right, some good stuff. And you want to adjust to what she's calling down there. Contacts. You've got about 3 in a row. I don't know what else. Make sure you adjust to it. One was off court. All right, some good stuff. Good stuff. If we're, listen, on the centre pass, I want to defensive their centre pass. Now they're going back to the goal defence and the wing defence at the last moment. So if you're on the transverse line, then look to see that everything's covered and then come forward and have a go at that pass. Got it? We want to get some more centre passes. All right, we start this quarter again now. We go out really strong. We're desperate now, every single second of it. All right, let's have a good one.
Well, it's interesting. We look through those stats and there have been 8 turnovers by or forced by the Kestrels, 8 turnovers by the Jaggers. And that's what she's talking about. Go for that intercept.
Yeah, exactly. Now, look, I think the penalties are quite high for the Jaggers. They're going to have to rectify that. They can't just come through for the body. They've got to try and go cleanly, which is what the Kestrels have been doing, and they've been able to take those intercepts. Look, the goal percentages, fantastic by both teams. I think that's one of the key focuses of the game.
And Sam Dennis, you've been listening in on the Jaggers.
Yes, thanks, Neil. It's not a happy camp over here, and I don't blame them. Like, they didn't really start with what they wanted. They're having a lot of trouble feeding into Jane, and I really think they should use her height. She's in-goal shooter. She's there for a reason. She's got the advantage. They're having a bit of trouble linking in the centre court, so they've just made a change. Narelle Ether's come off. So let's see what they can do this quarter.
Thanks for that, Sam. Second quarter underway. And they have taken Narelle Ether off the court. So, and immediately Olschwager called for holding the ball too long. So that's not quite the start they were looking for, having decided to mix things up.
Now, what the Jaggers have to do is really get into this match early in this quarter. They can't wait to half time to try and rectify things. So it's really important they get the score on the board early.
And it's happened at the other end. Just confirmation of that change. And Lampshire on and Costa into goalkeeping for the Jaggers.
Great shot there by Caitlin Thwaites. Really long bomb outside the halfway mark of the circle. As a shooter in Australia, that's what you're taught from a very long age. You actually said turn and shoot and put those balls in. That's what she's doing.
Well, I'm looking to feed, and
they'll be disappointed with that because it was open there to Jane and she got that ball, but the umpires brought it back and turned it over.
The call was a stepping ball. Big ball in, Thwaites, strong.
That's when you know your night is going well, when you can bomb those long ones in and you get the penalty call.
I've been enthusiastic, the Jaggers, but their execution hasn't been good on occasion, but also the Kestrels have managed to get back and crowd that centre third and make it really hard to get down and access into the goal third.
Yeah, exactly. And look, I think it's been the pressure. Look, the defensive pressure over that transverse line. The Jaggers are having real trouble in their attack end, trying to drive it forward.
Ah, yes, the ball over the top. Thwaites, it's set up perfectly. Oh, it's a good start to the second term. The first 3 goals so far of the second term, and they've got the centre past the Kestrels.
Costa, I think, is going to be sitting there saying, what am I going to try next? What am I going to do? Am I going to stand in front? Am I going to get behind it? Caitlin Thwaites, she's got to keep trying something different. I think I can see her. She's working overtime, trying to think of another thing to stop her. They're double teaming now.
Thwaites just a little further out than she shot before, but confidence is a great thing.
It is. Terrific their shot by Caitlin. The long bombs are going in thick and fast.
Now Wellham shows how to do it as well.
She presented well there and drove round nicely. They couldn't get a long ball into Jane, so she came in and presented, and that's great as a goal attack to do that.
Becomes vital to their setup too, doesn't it? That the Wellham's got to be taking those shots.
Exactly. They can't rely on one goal. I mean, Jane is a focal point, but if she can come in, Wellham, and, you know, ably assist, I think it just means that, you know, someone's got to be watching her the whole time, and it doesn't make it easy on the defenders.
Booth just putting that one in. Last week, when they had that big victory over the AIS, 50 goals from Jane Olschwager, but 18 from Wellham. In fact, 18 from 18. And that's the sort of mix I'm sure that they want. Strawn just a step in at the wrong time and pinged for the contact. Nice finish by Olschwager. Just work over again, and the Jaggers have the turnover again.
Maddie Brown just stepping out of court there.
So there's an indication of how they've struggled through that midcourt. They've had to go back. Oh, and just lucky Bradstock pulling that one in. Nash was coming quickly. And now another penalty inside the circle, and Jane Olschwager will line up again. She was out of court when she tapped that ball.
Having trouble when I watch the Jaggers in there trying to get through attack, they're doing a hell of a lot of cross-court balls. And look, when you do that, it is credit to the pressure that the Kestrels are putting on, but it's dangerous territory because the defender can come off and take an intercept when it's cross-court all the time.
What's the old story in basketball? You're passing across the lane. Every time you do that, you can get picked off. 24 plays 13, 10 minutes to half-time. Been a great start, really, by the Kestrels. Olschwager, her long arm, she couldn't even pull in that one.
She'll be disappointed in that herself. She would be saying, oh, I've just got to pull those ones in, even if the feed isn't quite there.
She does back herself too with those long arms, as you see there, just forcing a high pass and almost an intercept. Waits. She took up good position then, and boy, the confidence is up. Sort of high fives or the low fives between Thwaites and Booth.
That's great to see. You know what it says? It's they're enjoying netball, and that's why we play. We play because it is a lot of fun, and you're playing with your mates.
Advantage offside. Advantage offside.
They're working hard, and
good tip there.
That was Costa. She worked hard to get that tip out of court. Again, just the feed has been excellent from Brown. She's been outstanding. Purcell just knocking that ball out of court. So comes back in, and again Thwaites. Good athleticism, a big stretch, and another goal. Shooting at 86%, 19 from 22 for Caitlin Thwaites.
Good tip. Unfortunate, they've called a replay there. Now what it is if you have possession of the ball, you drop it and pick it up again. It's called a replay. It's really technical and hard for probably this an avid supporter to pick up, but the umpires are right onto it.
Not to mention sometimes you wonder why it isn't called, and other times it is called.
Exactly, that's why it's hard to pick.
There's Olschwager, and that long stretch on the left.
Gosh. Great pressure there by Rebecca Storm, but Jane just had confidence and turned around and popped it up.
And as you said about confidence with the long ball, boy, oh boy, that was a risky pass. And Thwaites got away with it.
It's certainly not a high percentage pass, but, you know, we can have a look at that on the replay. And up it goes from Brown, straight in. Was very lucky, and Costa, you can have a look at Costa's face. She's disappointed because she got good front position, trying to have a go. That's what all young defenders are taught. But look, lucky ball there over to Thwaites, and she pops it in. It's a great ball for the Kestrels. We're very happy with how they've been going. Caitlin Thwaites in particular, 20 from 23 at 87%. That's actually their total between both shooters, 87% for the quarter and 88 for the Jaggers. So they're both shooting well. It's just about who can get the most possession and keep capitalising.
Sam Dennis, you're down there at the moment, a little closer than we are. It's actually not an injury as such, is it? I mean, it's just to stop the run.
Yeah, definitely, Neil. I think, I wouldn't like to say definitely, but I think they really needed just to do something. That long ball before really just shows it's just working too easily. They need to try and mix up anything they can do to stop this flow of passage for them.
Thanks, Sam. And we talked about replaying the ball. It is an unusual rule. Here's the situation again.
It's really up to the interpretation of the umpire. But Brooke Thompson, she comes. They said she had control of it, lost it, and went to pick it up. Now, look, to me, I don't think it's right, that call. But unfortunately, the umpire thought it was. So, unfortunately, turnover for Kestrels. But start again after the timeout.
And I guess the thing is, in that situation too, as an umpire, you've got one look at it quickly.
You can't go like the cricket and call for the replay. Take too much time out of our game of netball.
Please, let's not go into that.
But I must say, Monia Gerard from the sweeps actually turns the umpire and draws the box. So that'll be one to look for later on this afternoon.
And not surprisingly, she'd be a defender, wouldn't she?
She would. I think it's crazy. It's great.
Lamb shooter Bradstock, and a nice feed. As my voice cracks, isn't that great?
Oh, goodness.
Nice little feed over the top. And
she's going to have a retake of that shot, though, because Thompson actually pushed in.
This time Thompson and Strawn will be standing out, so you'd think she'd be able to lob this one in.
Don't put the moz on her yet. And in it goes. Come on, Jaggers, we're going to have a fight back here. Bad luck, Katie.
Got the one hand, yeah, just a little tip, just not enough to force the turnover. Now Thwaites is double teamed in there, and well,
yes,
almost yes.
Yeah, didn't know whether she did. She sort of had one hand, then was dribbling, but finally pulled it in, which was great. It shows that, as a defender, you go for the tip, but your job's not done until you've really pulled it in, so you've got to keep working on that.
Great reaction. You talked about going for replays. That was brilliant cricket type reflexes from Olschwager. The trouble was she never finished off.
She'll be disappointed with that. I can tell by her face looking at her.
Ben Rensburg feeding wide and getting the ball back.
They've got good patience here today, the Kestrels. They're really working it around.
And
beautiful.
It pays off, doesn't it? Waits with another goal. She's got 21 for the afternoon. 28 plays 15.
We do talk up the goaling and the way you've got to put the ball in the hoop, which at the end of the day does matter. But look, if your feeding is excellent and if they keep moving the ball, it'll open for you and it'll make your job a hell of a lot easier, which is what the Kestrels are doing today. It's great to see.
Well, they would be under pressure, wouldn't they? I mean, they finished in the finals last year, and they did lose.
Particularly, in Melbourne, and all the fans are asking questions. Why did Kid leave? What are we going to do? The players haven't been living up to what we expect of them. Look, it is a lot, and people have been talking, and they are a very capable side, and I think all of them would be very disappointed because they had a good pre-season, and I know it was disappointing for them to lose Sinner, but Rebecca Strawn and the girls can certainly, move on from that and do extremely well. It was disappointing for them, yes, but let's use it as motivation. They keep saying they're not. I would be. I'd tell you, I'd be saying it every week. Let's prove everyone wrong here.
Well, Kestrel's performances thus far, whilst they have lost all 3 games, they haven't been too bad. They lost to the Swifts first up by 11 goals, to the Orioles by 6, and Queensland Firebirds by 6. So they've been fairly close encounters, and that was a held ball. Purcell turning it over, Brown to take it.
Everyone there for the Jaggers was running away. You've got to have someone coming forward.
Brown, no panic. The ball was knocked down by Bradstock. She regathered, fed Thwaites nicely. Jane Salt, would she be happy with what she's seen thus far?
Look, I think she would be. And look, I'm really impressed with Maddie Brown here today. I think her and Chelsea Nash have got a really good combination going. It is disappointing. We haven't spoke, but Bianca Franklin was ruled out of the match early today, one of the Kestrels goalers. But it's on the bench. They've got Kathleen Knott, a young, up-and-coming Victorian goaler. So I think she would be happy, and she's got, you know, players like Kathleen on the bench blooding them for the future. Defence has been good all the way down the court. You can't ask your players much more than that.
Now here they come again. Nash looking for Brown.
And cross-court again, doing the nice triangle moves. And yeah, that's a contact on Purcell. I could see it happening before it happened.
Should have been a defender.
Well, my dad was a fullback. It's got to be in the genes somewhere, doesn't it? But to tell you the truth, when I tried it at training, I was terrible, so
yeah.
Never got the Guernsey.
Booth just coming through there. She knew she was in trouble. And they're just resetting, yes.
Really, for just 2 centimetres, please.
Actually, just last touch, that was very good coming through the middle there from Bradstock, or rather for Nash.
It's a good actually match up because Katie is, even though Nash has probably had the better of the two at the moment, Bradstock's with her the whole time. We've got a turnover here. It's Jager's ball. Must be a...
Don't forget, if you want all your netball information, and particularly on what games we are doing, www.abc.net.au/netball, get on the web, get into the game. Brown holding off with that left hand very nicely there, subtly. Not called, and she just had the left arm out on Menzies as she took possession.
Oh, good rebound there by Andy Booth.
And that's where the height factor, she just had just a little too much reach and anticipation that time. Pressure again from the Jaggers. Now Brown straight back in. Purcell went for the intercept, had to go for it, I guess. They certainly need some turnovers, and they get one from the missed shot. 33 plays 15. Extremely ominous proportions as we count down a minute and a half or so to half time.
There has been a contact called here on Rebecca Strawn, so it'll be a penalty pass or shot for Jane Auschweger. She's got to settle here and put that in, and that's what she does. So still a bit of a blowout. It's a bit of a worry for the Jaggers going into half time. How are they going to get this back? What are they going to do? Will they move Jane Auschweger out? Maybe they will. Maybe they're going to try something different.
Well, again, their first 2 matches of the season, both blowouts, 29 goals to the Orioles in Perth. So they went all the way across the continent, and then they did it halfway across the continent to play the T-Birds and lost by 35 goals. Before last week, they came up with a 36-goal victory over the Darters. Closing in on half-time. 16 goals the margin.
The Kestrels are just getting far too much drive from their wing defence and goal defence coming into their attack end. That's where all the delivery is coming from to their attackers.
They'll get perhaps one more opportunity. Booth took a time. Centre pass for the Jaggers, so they want to take it quickly. They know there's not much time on the clock. Purcell, oh dear, too slow.
I think she was expecting a contact to be called, but they called advantage. Oh, great take by Jane. Oh! And
she was out of court, I think. In the end, it didn't matter.
She knew the time was up, so she thought she'd go for that over-the-head back throw type thing.
Half-time at Vodafone Arena. Melbourne Kestrels 34 and the Hunter Jaggers 17. The margin is 17 goals. And they'd be very, very happy, the Kestrels, with their first half. They've certainly been able to find space and find an avenue to goal on a regular basis. So 17 goals the margin at halftime.
This month on abc.net.au, get news updates, sport highlights, funny bits and more when you want it at Video On Demand. Follow in the footsteps of Australia's first rough traveller, Peter Finney, on this journey of discovery. Or take the kids to the playground for lots of fun and games. So go on, Exercise your imagination. Can you keep a secret?
Look at this magic, absolutely magic texture. This is the whole secret of the recipe.
Secret recipes on ABC2. Join us on ABC2 for the Montreux Music Specials. A diverse range of acclaimed musicians celebrate the roots of music and their contemporary interpretations. From the unexpected to the unforgettable.
Oh, my baby, he only just cares for me.
Montreux Music Specials, ABC2.
So there.
Hello and welcome to the New Inventors. I'm James O'Loughlin. Look at that! Look at that! Isn't that amazing?
I reckon it looks like fun. I'll have a go on it. No worries.
Oh my goodness.
Inventing is really fun, especially when you get the hang of it.
Fantastic.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, yeah.
There he goes right in.
Man.
Hit the target.
Terrific. This has got a chance, this one.
Oh, he's hard to impress.
Join James and his panel of experts for lots of fun and loads of brilliant ideas with the New Inventors on ABC2.
Welcome back, and the Kestrels have been brilliant, haven't they, in the first half? They lead by 17 goals, and Eloise, it's been one-way traffic in many ways.
Well, it has been, and look, we talked up Jane Elschweger before the match, and really she hasn't delivered at this stage, and it's been down the other end. Caitlin Thwaites, who has been phenomenal, 86% I think has been terrific. I think the Jaggers are going to have to do something with their defence end.
Kestrels will be very happy, as we said. Jane Searle has kindly given us a few moments with Sam Dennis.
Jane, you must be happy with the first half.
Oh, look, I'm pretty happy, yeah, and I think our defensive pressure's been pretty good, and most importantly, we've capitalised on it. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy from that respect.
Great. Good luck for the rest of the game.
Some ways you think she'd be pinching herself. They haven't performed up to expectations. We've talked about that repeatedly, and yet this afternoon they've come out and played very, very good.
And as I said, they've got that ability there, but look, the turnovers are the real difference in these match statistics. 10 turnovers for the Kestrels, but when you look at the other side of the coin, the Jaggers have got 19. Now really, that's an area that they really need to pick up on for this quarter. Obviously, yeah, the penalties are higher for the Jaggers, but nothing too concerning there. And also the goaling percentages, 83% to the Kestrels, 81 to the Jaggers. There's not much in it. So what that means is they've just got to get their ball in to their shooters.
Well, they've had 20 more attempts, the Kestrels.
Well, yeah, I know they've had lots more attempts, but the percentage is there, so it's delivery into them to make sure that they can put those goals in. Now, Jane, you know, I've watched her face. She's actually been disappointed. She hasn't pulled a few balls in. They haven't fed well to her. And on the other side of the coin, the Kestrels have been doing that beautifully.
How do you create more opportunities, though?
Well, I think it's the drive. Obviously, you've got to take those intercepts, but also the drive. The Kestrels defenders, their wing defence, goal defence, are driving down, delivering the ball, and they're not putting, the Jaggers aren't putting that pressure on. So I think the defenders down here for the Jaggers have to get that drive through and link with their attacking players, and they haven't done that well.
John Fletcher, the Jaggers coach, I should say, is with Sam.
Hi, John. What are you looking at improving for the second half?
Oh, look, it's got to be a lot more tougher and committed to actually playing a good game of netball, Sam. Well, our defensive pressure's been well below what we'd expect, and we're not just releasing the ball, so we're going to come out and just attack as hard as we can and just play a much stronger brand of netball, we hope.
Great, go do it.
I think Sam there's giving the rev up.
The second half underway, and I said Kestrels coach, I think he wishes he was in charge of the Kestrels in this situation. Thwaites to start, as she did the game, she starts the second half.
It's always nice to come off the break and put the first one in, because you've sat down, you've had a chat, and sometimes you can get your momentum out of rhythm, so she'll be happy with that.
25 goals from 29 attempts in the first half for Caitlin Thwaites. And again, Schwager, that would have been brilliant, but it also was sloppy in many ways as how the ball came in.
It was sloppy. They're not feeding well to her today. They're you know, it's a credit to Rebecca Strawn. She's putting that pressure on and sitting right on her and making it hard for them to deliver. But at the other end, it's not the case.
No. They've had easy access in many ways on far too many occasions.
They have. Now, Danielle Harvey's come on at goalkeeper for the Jaggers. Now, she's a very experienced player, and I think this is a good move for them. So Harvey there's come in at goalkeeper, Ether at centre, and Lincoln at wing attack. So they've had a few changes in their attack end, hoping to get that drive for the Jaegers. Andy tried to read that. Andy Booth coming through for the intercept. Unfortunately, just contacted on the way through, so she was put out of play.
Ether forcing a pass to Wellham, and fortunately Wellham was able to retain possession. Penalty coming in, and now they really are struggling. They had 2-on-1 on Olschwager, but the feed was pretty good, and Olschwager lobs in the goal. Always amused too by the struggle under the post when there's a goal for the ball to be either returned very slowly or very quickly, depending on whether you've got the set of pass or not.
And sometimes the umpires love to get involved in that too. Like, hurry back to the centre. I used to have a giggle. Hold it
Did
up.
a lot of that by the sounds of it when you were playing.
Oh, I used to love it.
Used to have a giggle when the defender was called by the umpire. Used to have a giggle when it was too slow back to the centre.
Monia Gerard used to call for the cricket umpire. That was a great take there. It's been thrown in by Maddie Brown to Caitlin Thwaites, who was just inside the edge of the baseline and actually put that ball in. Great shooting there by Caitlin.
And Booth. Good feed. This time Thwaites, unusually,
was out on the drive.
Yeah, she was the one feeding.
But it's good to have that change up. So good thinking there by the Kestrels attackers. Doing the same thing. Yeah, she just had her arm around there, around her waist, and that's what she got called for there by Rebecca Strawn.
And you reckon Olschwager wasn't accentuating the little hole too?
Oh, look, you've got to milk it, don't you? You try and, you know, get everything that you can down there, especially when your team's struggling. You've got to make it well aware to the umpire that that's happening and trying to get that free shot. Because if no one's defending you, it's a lot easier to shoot them up.
Trying to work screens as hard as she can, Olschwager. And she's got another goal, 2 in a row for the Jaggers. And a centre pass to come.
That was much better there by Wellman. She actually drove in, got the ball on the edge, and did a no-look pass to Jane. I think that opened up nicely for them. Kestrels are just expecting, the defenders there, just expecting it to be bombed in. Offside call, disappointing. Had a bit of a run on.
It can change, though, the momentum in these sort of games, though, against sides that haven't really got a lot of confidence through the start of their season. So the Kestrels, they create a couple of turnovers. You never know, the Jaggers still capable of coming back.
Well, they are. Look, it's not over yet. I think that they've just got to dig deep this quarter, try and get it to about a 10-goal buffer. And look, you get every second pass in netball. It's not like it's, you know, you just got no hope at all of catching up. You can. It's like everyone digging deep, getting one intercept each. You can turn the game around.
Margin 20, though, with Caitlin Thwaites. 34 attempts and 30 goals.
It's a great shooting statistic. She's going to be very happy so far with her performance. She's just got to finish it off.
Shooting 90% across the season, so she clearly, her percentage in terms of finishing off has been there. It's just a question, I guess, for the Kestrels of their work up the court, as you said, to try and get it to Thwaites and get opportunities. And they almost turn it over. Brown and then back into Thwaites, and it was a perfect example. She had good position, the ball just wasn't there for her.
Well read there by Brooke Thompson. She came around her player nicely. Her Jaggers opponent was actually flat-footed, and she read it well and came through for the intercept.
Now Brown with the feed to Thwaites again.
Oh, she was disappointed with that one. It was a very flat shot.
Really short-armed it, didn't she?
Just didn't get the rhythm into it.
Ether, dangerous pass. thing is, I suppose, when you've got somebody like Olschwager in there, you won't want to leave her too often to go for that intercept.
No, you won't, because if, you know, they don't release it, it could go straight in under the post. So that's what Rebecca Strawn is trying to judge whether to go or not.
However, when Strawn's out there, she's prepared to go for everything.
Yeah.
That time she was called for a contact.
Probably not the best one to go for, that one. Probably best just to hang back and let her take it and work the ground and work her so she can't get back in the ring.
Still the margin, 18 goals. It was 17 at half-time. And at quarter time, it was 7 in favour of the Kestrels. Nice take there by Olschwager using her height, and that's something that, as you've identified, they haven't really exploited this afternoon.
They haven't. They've tried to feed Jane from a very long way out, but when they do deliver it from the edge of the ring, it's a hell of a lot easier to pinpoint the pass, and they've had trouble with that. So it'll be interesting to see whether John has spoken about that during the halftime break and said drive it onto the ring and then put it in.
Nash and Brown working at the top of the circle to get it into Booth, who will now take the shot. No problems at all. And Booth is creeping up there, 11 from 15 at 73%.
Oh, great take there.
Now Ether, great feed.
Oh, perfect.
She had position high up in the circle, Jane Olschwager.
Shall I say it was centimetre perfect? Because it was.
Just have a look, she's high up in the circle.
And Beck Strawn right on her opponent there, Jane Olschwager, but Jane just got her arms over, took the ball out of her hands.
Now Brown to bring the ball in for the Kestrels. Ether coming around the back, but no way did she get on hands on that first.
Big tussle there. I love that. That means they really want the ball, both of them.
It's the hand across there from Megan Jackson, knocking it out of court. Well, they struggled hard in there, the Jaggers, but it all comes to naught. Thwaites brings down a tough ball.
And Thwaites, how good was that? She was 2-on-1 there. Andy Booth was presenting nicely in front, but they popped it up. She took the ball and shot a nice goal.
Ether, and you talk about access to that goal circle. They just couldn't get it there to the top of the circle for the good feed. So Olschwager managing to finish the play anyway.
It's interesting, they're taking a lot of passes to try and get it in, and I suppose the more you do, if you can't get it quite on that ring and you've got to go and play it back, it just gives the defenders more chances to intercept it. So it is a fine line. Yes, swinging it and everything is great, but you also want to deliver it in within a couple of passes.
Complaint there about a bit of blood, perhaps. Is that what it was?
Someone's got long fingernails,
Yes,
I think.
You can see Nash down the back of Nash's arm.
Oh, goodness gracious.
You don't see blood like that in netball.
No, you don't. It would be a fingernail cut, though, or something like that. It's just that when you are sweating, it does run everywhere, which isn't that great.
It might take a few moments to repair that one, actually.
Kestrels, I think Jane Searle's out there, and I'm sure she's very happy with what her defensive pressure that she's put on, her team has put on. She's asked for that, and they've had plenty of turnovers.
And about that, 21 turnovers forced by the Kestrels on the Jaggers, and in return, they've only given up 13 times.
But her defensive pressure all the way down the court has been sensational, and that is been their key attribute to their game. Not one ball has been really uncontested. So the Jaggers have had to fight for every possession because they've had a Kestrels player there and roaming around looking for the intercept. Great intercept there by Brooke Thompson. There's one for the Jaggers in about 10 for the Kestrels we've had.
I tell you, it's just about 2-1, 21-13 in terms of turnovers. So they're just cleaning up things and almost ready to play again. Sam Dennis, I think we can say that was definitely a timeout that was fair income.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say that. This one definitely is an injury. I think she's all patched up now. Looks good. Yeah, as you said, when you are sweating, it does look a bit worse than it really is. So she's looking fine now.
So she'll of easy to pick now, Chelsea Nash, as if the name on the back and the big C wasn't enough. She's now taped up on that right arm or right elbow.
Well, it's like in the soccer how they have the armband for captains. She is a captain, so we'll take it that's the mark.
Play resuming, 6 minutes and 6 seconds or thereabouts to go before the end of the third quarter.
Oh, unlucky call there. Got Reagan Jackson on at wing defence, and she was called for holding on Maddie Brown, and really I just don't think it was a penalty, but anyway.
Centre pass for Ether. And again, they're just finding it hard to get access. Olschwager coming out of her attacking circle. Having to go back and then in again. Wellham and swings it to Lincoln. And then they forced the pass, didn't they?
They certainly did. It wasn't really open. What I would have done if I was Wellham, turn around, look like I was going to shoot because the defender would come to you and then it might open up for Jane and a lot closer. But they got the penalty anyway and scored the goal, so it's an extra goal there to the Jaggers.
Nash, and I just noticed she's obviously had a uniform change too. They had a spare uniform in the rooms.
Well, once you have blood on there, you actually have to take it off and change. So you get 2 minutes to do that with the blood rule. So obviously out the back. She did the strip down, changed uniforms, and out she goes again.
And possession with Lincoln and the Jaggers, so they'll...
It's a good try by Leah Van Rensburg there, though. Coming through for the...
Ether just misread what Olschwager was doing. She was coming off the screen and looking for the ball to come into her, and instead Ether threw it over the top and threw the ball away.
I think that's one of the things they are going to have to work on at training this week, is actually delivering the ball to their goalies. Good pressure there by Welland. Really good hands over at 3 feet. Caused the turnover.
Now into Olschwager. Had no choice but to take that. Hit her in the breadbasket. Well short. Just managed to touch the ring.
Tip coming through there defensively by Reagan Jackson for the Jaggers.
So the ball advanced and Van Rensburg driving through. Something that, as you said, the Jaggers haven't been able to do. To drive through the ball. Takes the defender out of the game. A little bit of a collision down there, but everybody's all right.
And it's opened nicely for Andy Booth. It was 2-on-1 for the Kestrels there in their attacking circle. She gets the penalty and she scores nicely.
Just another look at how Purcell went down.
Oh, it was a good fight by both of them, actually. And Chelsea obviously just got her hands on it, and Purcell tried to pull out and fell onto the floor. They're desperate, these netballers.
Well, I can imagine past times they would have been more desperate. There's a lot of asphalt that you would have played on in your junior days. A lot of skin left out there.
Thousands of kids that play every Saturday morning on the asphalt. Yes, you do pick a few of those rocks out of your knees and all sorts of things. But it is great fun.
All behind you now, I suppose. Under 3 minutes to play. 44-27, the Kestrels lead.
Maybe I'm heading back out then. The outdoor court. Now let's go. We've got to get the ball turned over here by the Jaggers.
Well, that's what they need. I mean, you know, that's at the end of the day, that's the thing that they really need, is to force more turnovers themselves. They've given the ball away far too many times.
It's good here, but we've got...
Oh, they went for Olschwager. Olschwager was signalling to Purcell, I want it long, not that long.
Not that long. Now, that's what they need. The Jaggers need their defenders to be driving down and helping, but obviously not rushing those passes like that. We don't want to force it in. You've got to work it in. A nice, easy, which is what the Kestrels are doing, working it onto the ring, getting it in, delivering it nicely to their goalers, and then popping it up to the score.
And still that percentage is up for Thwaites. 86% she's shooting at. And just a touch in there. No, it was Jackson who did the touch, but was called as a contact, and as a result, fed into Booth. And Booth misses. Unusual, it seems. There's not been that many misses from the Kestrels.
Work it through the Jaggers. They've really got to make sure they keep possession when they get a turnover and not throw it away like they did that entered Brooke Thompson.
Thompson was quite brilliant. That was a hard pass. She saw it well. She saw it early and then intercepted. Brown with the feed to Booth and a goal. 20 goals the margin. Plenty of warming up being done by the Jaggers bench.
Be interesting to see what type of changes they do make into this last quarter. I really think their defence has to try something different. They're really staying on a one-on-one, the Jaggers. Maybe they should try a double team on the weights. You've got to try something. If you're out of the ballpark now it's a bit late actually to try changing now, but they should try it just to get you know, the percentage.
If nothing else, you look ahead to what's coming and you say, well, what can we learn from this to take into our next game?
And certainly the percentage, you don't want it to blow out as well, because it does mean a lot come towards the end of the season.
Well, even at this early stage, round 4 of the season, this is a very important match for both sides from that respect. Because any hopes they have of making the finals, gee, if you start 0-4 as the Kestrels would if they lost, or even if you're 1-3, if the Jaggers lose, it's not a great start by any means.
Great long shot there by Andy Booth.
They call that the shooter's roll to finish the quarter, and at three-quarter time, the Kestrels have a commanding lead, 49-27 at Vodafone, and it's 22 goals the margin in favour of the Kestrels. And Ether spent some time off the court, but she's also been important in the centre court, but they have struggled.
Yeah, she's very quick and dynamic. Probably one thing she's maybe has to look at developing is just her passing into Jane Elschweger. Now, I'm not saying that's totally her fault, but obviously if she can get that pinpoint accuracy with her speed, I think she could be a very dominant player. But at this stage, she's been doing a lot of hard work, but really the finishing off and delivering to her goalers has let her down a little bit.
You've identified driving through the midcourt, and that does she use her speed enough to drive rather than just stop and prop, making position stop, prop?
Exactly. She drives about, 5 metres and then stops and asks for the ball, and that's fine if your team's in trouble and you're trying to work it through. But I think if she gets that flow on and keeps taking the drive, I think as a centre court player too, sometimes you don't have to be in the thick of it. Sometimes you can clear out and create a lot of space for your other players. And players like Wellman should really step up in that position too.
Just have a quick listen to John Fletcher.
As Jane said, she just sits and does like for 3 or 4 seconds sort of thing. So I'm just going to keep sitting on her.
Yeah, and I might even try and sit on her, but maybe sit T on her to actually force her to go out, to really force her to go.
We've just got to keep motion. That's all we can do. All we can do is just keep it alive. Same with you, Lara. Just keep the ball alive. Take her on. Less straight runs, more chaser. That was a much better quarter. They say now we go another level with it, okay? All right, get ready.
A little bit of disgust there from John Fletcher. Earlier it was Rob Wright, his assistant's on all-male coaching bench there. And let's have a look through those stats to three-quarter time, and they really do have their problems, the Jaggers. No doubt about that. Kestrels have been very good.
They have, and look, as we talked about earlier, the attempts, 59 attempts to the Kestrels to 35 for the Jaggers. That's really let them down, which obviously is like turnovers, 26 for the Jaggers. You've given the ball away 26 times. That is just not on.
Sam Dennis, I guess the Kestrels be pretty laissez-faire there. They'd be pretty happy with the way things are.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw Jane crack a smile, but she might be waiting till after the game. They've made one change. Chelsea Nash has gone to wing attack, and Bryony Cargill's coming on. Look, they've just got to keep doing what they're doing. They've got 15 more minutes. I really think they can do it.
Thanks for that, Sam. Yeah, so with a 22-goal lead, you'd hope they could do it.
Look, I certainly think that they should do it from here.
Here we go with the final quarter, and it's a 22-goal margin in favour of the home team, the Kestrels. The Jaggers really do have an appalling record on the road, don't they? They lost both games this season. They've only ever won 4 times away from their home in Newcastle. That's in, this is their 19th game away from home. Another turnover. And a bad one?
A very bad one. It was a long ball in by Reagan Jackson, but it wasn't really on. So disappointing there by the Jaggers. They would have liked to get off to a good start into this last quarter, but
just confirmation of those Kestrels changes, and they've got them. They've got there with Van Rensburg, but Cargill coming on, and they've made just a couple of changes, and I know Jane still likes making a lot of changes. The Jaggers, on the other hand, shifting things around as well.
yes, Jane does like a lot of changes, but today has been one of those days where she hasn't needed to. So she's just really stuck with her 7, and I think that's a good thing. From a player's point of view, okay, you might have done something right in the first quarter, but the coach's job is to coach you to make changes and to coach you to do something better and stick with you and believe in you, and I think that's what she's done today, which has been great. On the other hand, John's had to make a few changes because there's been key matchups that just were not going his way.
Booth getting a hand in there, but just not able to get possession. Again, they have struggled from this area of the court. That time, Strawn picking up the penalty.
It was just a push from behind into Jane Elschwager's back, so took her body offline and missed the pass, but got it back and shot the goal.
Jane Elschwager going beyond 1,600 goals in the CBT competition this afternoon.
I never looked much at that, actually. All I cared about was winning.
Oh, that's the thing, I suppose. They need to find a way to win, and just at the moment, they're in a lot of trouble in this match. In fact, I'd say a lot of trouble in this season.
Very disappointing effort by the Jaggers today. I think they'll go home pretty gutted at this defeat. And it's not over yet, I know, but it's going to be a hard slog to get back in from where they're at this point in time.
I should mention, Elschwager is shooting again at 81%. That was an interesting decision there, just tipped by both sides, but it was called as a Jaggers ball. Such hesitation about how they're going down the court. Wellham, Holding and Ether. That was better from Ether and better from Elschwager.
Nice shot there, nice high shooting style there over the defensive arm. Time call.
Immediately a time call.
It's Brooke
Jaggers have shot 4 in a row, so maybe another strategy meeting.
Well, I think it'd be good. It'd be good for them now, the Jaggers, just go over there and say, you know, we've got 4 on the trot. Let's keep going. Let's get this momentum going. And probably a good call by the Kestrels there that time out.
Kestrels there before I mentioned that coming out in defence was Strawn, and, or rather coming out in defence at the other end. That one. We're going to just have another look at just that ball out of court and possession, which was given here to the Jaggers. Jets.
It's a wrong decision, just say it. It's blatantly wrong, and the umpire was standing right there. Can I talk to her? She's just over my screen here. But we make mistakes.
I was a bit confused seeing it live because I was thinking, well, hang on, the Kestrels were trying to knock the ball back into court. The ball gets thumped out of court.
Exactly. We're not lucky we're not playing, so we might have said something.
Yes, well.
But they all got on with it, so that's great.
49 plays 31, still an 18-goal lead in favour of the Kestrels, but the Jaggers are about to hit their 5th in a row, or are they? Is Jane Elschwager okay? She just limps away. And remembering, of course, she's coming this season back into the game after snapping her Achilles last season.
And I think this actually gave her a bit of a twinge in that. Yep,
oh.
Rolled her ankle, and that certainly wouldn't be good. But I'm not sure what foot it was that she had her op on. So she looks right, though. Tough. She's a tough cookie.
Jaggers 5 in a row. So 49-32, 5 in a row to the Jaggers, and Booth finally breaks that run.
It was actually a great defence there by Danielle Harvey, trying to put her off with the jump, but nothing is putting Andy off today, or the Kestrels. They're playing great netball. Good feed there into Jane Elschwager, and nice shot.
Now what's happened here of the Kestrels eased up perhaps on their defensive pressure through the mid-quarter. They're a bit tired, or have the Jaggers lifted as we count down towards full time?
Well, to tell you the truth, I think the Jaggers have lifted and they're actually penetrating a lot into their goal third, making it a lot easier pass into Jane, who's opening up nicely. So the Kestrels now just got to dig deep and try and finish off, because they have had trouble as well finishing off in all four. So if they lose this quarter, they'll be disappointed.
So the ball will go forward. Jackson feeds it wide for Lincoln. And Olschwager on the stretch, just able to bring it in.
She had those go-go gadget arms going.
Oh, yeah.
Good chase there off the rebound. She got a tip. Brooke Thompson followed it up nicely. She's a great player coming out of the AIS and settling back at home with the Kestrels.
Cargill now, position wide out.
Well, yes, Andy came running through. Danielle Harvey had good position and she ran straight into her for the contact. So Jaeger's ball.
Going Wellham, back looking for Ether. Ben Rensburg called. Olschwager just getting the screen and slipping out the back for the easy goal.
Just popped one. Oh,
yeah,
ball in the head.
She has been in the wars. Not got that bandage for nothing, and popping that one in the face. No blood was spilled though.
No. Those ones just make your eyes water. Awful.
Now Wellham, Jackson, and they get it down to Lincoln. Looks for the big feed, and gee, that was asking a big question of Olschwager. She was up to it, but I don't think she actually caught the pass until the pass was in the air.
Exactly, it nearly went over her head. Oh. She copped one for her trouble as well, so it was good balance there by Jane to pull that in.
And the Jaggers hit 2 in a row, and we've got another injury problem here. Sam Dennis, your expert opinion, tell me, do you think there is anything in this one?
Oh, it could be. It looks like just ankle at the moment. She's no tapes being added. It could maybe just an injury, but I think it might just be a bit of a break. They were on a bit of a run, so I'm not quite sure if it's too serious. Let's hope it's not.
And Rensburg is the player who's called the timeout. And we mentioned that turnovers today. Combined, these teams have turned the ball over 48 times, which seems like a rather large number.
It is a large number. To turn the ball over, which means bad pass, things like that, it's just not on. So I think both teams will look at that statistic and say, we've got to really keep control of the ball and not lose possession, because that, once you play the top teams, that just is the end of your game.
Well, we've got a timeout, interesting there, caused by a potential injury, but not sure how serious it is. But Ben Rensburg looks a little distressed anyway there. She's just taking the opportunity, the Kestrels, to change positions. But it's interesting, John Fletcher content to sit down with Rob Wright and leaving his players to talk amongst themselves.
He's obviously given them some direction. He's happy with the way they're going at this point. And maybe that's a job of their captains, is to, you know, to rule and make sure that they are giving the messages of what he has said at quarter time.
51-35. Nash just looking to release the ball. She was getting close to that 3-second call. Ether just not the height to get that one. And now the call inside the circle for Thwaites. 52 plays 35. Still 17 goals. But thus far, the Kestrels have lost this quarter.
I think Gilmore's finding it a little bit hard in there. She's normally, she can play circle defence, but she is really good out at wing defence. So it's going to be a challenge for her. She's running with Booth, and she couldn't quite pull out of that one there and got the contact.
Now Ether and Olschwager had made a run outside the circle, and that meant they couldn't have any target inside. Wellham now. To Ether, that ball was knocked out of her hands. Umpire called advantage. Olschwager, all net.
She's still encouraging her teammates, which is good to see. Oh, great drive and pass by Chelsea Nash to Leah Rensburg.
Booth put the leg out straight away to make sure. Well, let's see. Possession to Thwaites. Interesting. There's almost 6 of one, half a dozen of another there. And both players, I suppose, stepped out of court in the end. So Olschwager at the other end with a chance.
She'll get to go again. Another obstruction.
Jane Searle. Is that almost cracking her for a smile? No. No, I think she'd be very disappointed with the effort in the last quarter.
She would be, actually. She has been talking during the week about them finishing off 4 quarters, and that's the challenge, because when you do play the top teams, you must continue to keep persisting and keep playing good netball for the whole game.
And that's the thing that the Kestrels, well, they've been competitive, let's say. As I said in their losses, the Swifts, first up, a tough ask. They had that controversy with Sinner Kidd leaving them, and then they only got beaten by 11 goals. So it wasn't a bad effort against the Swifts.
We must remember that the Swifts were without Catherine Cox as well, and they're 2 defenders coming back from knee injuries. So I thought they actually could have won that game.
And Nash, and Jackson couldn't help herself, put out the arm, knocked the ball down.
She wanted to stop the run on, really. It was probably a bit of smart play there. As much as I should tell everyone at home not to do that.
You're not insisting on breaking the rules?
Well, no.
It's like timeouts. I'm sorry, that's my favourite topic in netball. It's, why not just give them 2 30-second timeouts a half?
I'm with you on that.
So the Kestrels have snapped back into action. They've hit the last 2 goals for a 56-37 lead. And Thwaites, nice. She wasn't 100% certain. She certainly followed up, but gee, she should be. 88% is her shooting percentage this afternoon at 37 goals from 42 attempts.
Good pressure here by the Kestrels. They've got both their goal attack and wing attack down on the line. The Jagers attacking line, just trying to defend and get their arms up.
Now Olschwager, just trying to keep her player away, has been picked up for a contact on Strawn. She was just trying to push off her at the top of the keyway there.
Great long ball there by Rebecca Strawn to Leah Van Rensburg.
Ether was all aggression and managed to get the ball.
I think it was a contact there for a push-off for Thwaites. It's just happening the next pass over, but doesn't quite get there.
Good feed that time from Ether to Olschwager again, using the height. Nash to Thwaites. Perhaps a hand across there somewhere because Thwaites ducked. Ether pushing down the court quickly into Wellham. And from that distance, she was very confident.
She's a very accurate shooter, Lara Wellham, and I know that Jane Olschwager is a dominant goaler, but I think she has to demand it from her players a lot more. You'll see a lot of the top teams have got 2 dominant goalers, and it's really a key that you just don't play to one and play to the strength of one. If you can both be dominant and get even shooting statistics, and that helps.
Wellham's only put up the 9 shots this afternoon to Olschwager's 42. Booth. Well, she was unlucky there because she did think that through. She thought, I can't take possession again, and I'm not sure that I'm going to just step. So she knocked it away, hoping that one of her teammates was there.
Over a third called.
Don't see that often in top grade netball, do we?
No, well, when you actually play netball, and it's another hard rule of our game, the ball must touch in the third. You can't actually pass it over one. So, if that makes sense.
You can't bypass the centre third.
No, you can't. You have to have it
there.
touched. Or if you're throwing in from the baseline, it can't come straight into the centre third. You've always got to touch it in each third of the netball court.
It's good. They really have stepped up their defence now. The Kestrels closing in on full time. 2 minutes 30 or thereabouts to go. 58 plays 40, 18 goals the margin. The Kestrels will win. I think we're safe in saying that.
Well, I think we are, but it's quite scrappy play here at the moment, and by both teams. They're not pulling in the balls they should. Their passing's been a bit erratic, so let's just settle it down and get, for the Jaggers' sake, they want to try and score a few and not throw the ball out like that. And the Kestrels.
Yeah, Allschwager with the look away. Just have a look. Go one way, pass the other. And just didn't have the measure of control she needed.
I think the right idea was there, but certainly the pass was a bit wayward.
And Rensburg, the Thwaites had set up well, and just coming around and chopping at the arm was Harvey.
She moved her feet well, Danielle Harvey, trying to get around Caitlin Thwaites, but it was just a little bit late. Call for contact.
So Thwaites to finish off. Nicely done. So here's another opportunity for the Jaggers just to finish on well. Just over a minute left. Ether Thompson didn't even go for that. She was completely wrong-footed by the pass.
They're having a chat too now, Rebecca Straw and Brooke Thompson, trying to work out whose ball that one was and who should have gone for it. Oh, great feed there by Chelsea Natch.
Yeah, she was falling, wasn't she, out of court, and Thwaites took a strong ball in front of her eyes. One last opportunity, perhaps. Straw just knocking that one out of court, and still it'll be Wellham's ball. Straw in anticipation was brilliant there. Knew the pass was going to the height of Allschwager. Thwaites called for a contact. Just pushing her way through. She needed to get into the circle.
And Danielle Harvey's been doing a good job of that. She's actually made Caitlin Thwaites push off a few times and has been called for the contact. So well done, Danielle.
And defenders at both ends, the high balls are coming in. We're in the last few seconds, so the high balls are going in. They're just trying to get that last goal.
And Leah Van Rensburg had that ball spent. She was right onto the next pass. Well done to the Kestrels, though. Great game.
Full time. And they would be delighted, the Kestrels, to claim their first win of the season, and in such a powerful result, really. The Melbourne Kestrels 61, the Hunter Jaggers 41, a 20-goal victory for the home side. Now, I don't think that Jane Saul would be too impressed.
McMahon, what a start for Phoenix.
They'll be happy with this.
Couldn't read it in the face of Julie Hornweg, but maybe in 60 minutes' time there'll be a big grin creasing the face of the Phoenix coach. Gilsonen. Cox. Very casual delivery and take.
I must say that is Coxie's trademark, to be relaxed.
And Pratley gets the Swifts on the board. So Pratley last week shot at 86%, Cox at 83%. Pratley stood off in the last quarter against the Orioles as Leah Shord was given a chance, and she shot 6 from 8. Certainly the toughest match of the season so far for the Swifts. Ingrid Dick to McMahon, a head spinner. Gerard could only watch the ball fly by.
Great pass again by Ingrid Dick. She started well for the Phoenix.
Gilsonen to Cox. To Pratley. Kimberly Green.
Great patience there by the Sydney Swifts, working it around until they could find the ball in.
Well, whose ball is that? It has to be Pratley, surely. Curran was just waiting for the umpire to make a call. Fair enough, play the whistle. Right decision in the end. Chocolate with Green at a shoulder.
You can just see the intensity of this match. It's a really fast pace but controlled, and Liz Ellis there getting called for contact, having a go. Not sure about that. Could have been probably play on.
Yeah, there wasn't much contact, was there, but She expressed her disappointment too, which she's got to be careful about.
I'm sure she was just asking a question.
Asking a question with a clap of the hands. Are you listening to me?
Exactly.
Are you talking to me?
Great try there by Ali Broadbent, who actually was on ABC commentating on Friday.
Yeah, and did a great job too. Ingrid Dick. LS this time takes it cleanly out of the hands of Sinakid.
Brilliant play there by Lizzie, because Sina was actually flat-footed. She came through. Yes, was contact on Bianca. She tried to pretend it wasn't.
Walked away smiling, Cox.
Great shot there by Coxie.
Phoenix had the centre pass though, and a 2-goal lead with 4.5 minutes gone. A floating pass to McMahon as Jacobson hits the floor and gets up quickly.
Been a lot of players on the floor. Not sure if that's a sign that the court's slippery or a bit of sweat left out there from the last game. As Monia lands on Sherelle for a contact. She's got the penalty shot.
Phoenix, I imagine, don't read too much into the fact that their crosstown rivals, the Kestrels, had a win here, but it's can't be a bad omen for Melbourne sides on this double-header day. Cox to Gilsonen to Pratley. Broadbent up the line to Green. Oh, kept that left foot just in play on the line.
Kept it in and tried to pop it up to Catherine, but Bianca Chatfield had very good positioning there in front of Catherine and got the ball. Great tip there by Ali Broadbent.
Got the ball. Is that you? It went under the table there. There we go.
They thought I was still playing. Good try there by Ali Broadbent. Came through with 2 hands, but it went out of court. Phoenix ball.
Jacobson. LS, always hers. And nice no call. I like to see a bit more of that. Kate Wright just kept the whistle out of the mouth as the ball spilt nicely to Ellis and away they went.
Natasha Chocolate there for the Phoenix, trying to come through and hunting down the intercept, but unfortunately contacted along the way, so she's out of play.
Interesting pass from Cox to Gilson and off the hip.
She did very well, Selena, then not to go offside. Good balancing.
Pratley, sweet shot.
She's been accurate all year, Pratley. Very good for the Swifts.
Phoenix are 6 from 6. And the Swifts just missed one of their 5 attempts. Ingrid Dick. McMahon, oh, how was the delivery to Sinakid? Oops. And Ellis punishes the missed close shot.
And that's what happens when you do play the Sydney Swifts. Certainly you have to capitalise when you get the ball into the post, because if you don't, they'll be there for the rebound, and that's exactly what Liz Ellis did.
These teams met 4 times last year, and Phoenix won 3 of them. The Swifts only won the first match 65 to 54. The important thing I think about those matches last year, Eloise, and of course she played in them, was Monia Gerard only played in one of them.
She did, and it was the first one.
And the one that they won. And so crucial was she to the strength of their defence. I think it played a significant part in their fortunes after that, but not that I'm offering them excuses, but, you know, Gerard's quality.
Well, it's really difficult to replace, really.
Oh, how's that? Susan Pratley. No reaction at all, but it was great reflexes and skills.
Fantastic to be able to pull that in from off the court and put it up and score the goal for her team. Well done, Susan.
Jacobson, smart ball. Sinakid used the floor to beat the defence. And Ellis is there again. Got touch off to Gerard. Another nice no call from Kate Wright after the contact.
And Sinakid at this stage sitting on 50%. So what she's got to do is really make sure she scores those goals.
Oh, Gerard just stepped in. Tried to use the ball to stop her tumbling into that goal third. Kidd.
Good backup on the line by Natasha Chocolate for the Phoenix.
Misread from Curran, but good backup from Chatfield.
That was certainly nearly over a third.
Yeah, I think that's what the gasp of the crowd was about. They don't miss much, do they? An educated netball crowd. They're right on the umpire's case.
That's the one I'm talking about from Sinner. She's got to sink them. It's important in big matches.
She shot 80% last week, and McMahon 93. Sherrill only missed 2 shots against the Thunderbirds. You know, in a losing performance. Great game, though. Pratley.
Pratley's being nice and steady in the attack end for the Sydney Swifts. It's good to see.
Not much to go on with stats like penalties or intercepts or rebounds, all very even through the first 9 minutes. Julie Fitzgerald.
And certainly that's what you'd expect, an even performance from these three. They've been absolutely phenomenal teams for the history of our competition. So it's always a sensational contest and one to watch.
Over the years, they've been two of the more evenly matched sides. Swifts lead at 12-11 in head-to-head plus 1 draw, but Phoenix, as we mentioned, have won the last 3. The Swifts shape up a bit differently this year. No Megan Anderson at the moment. She's in New Zealand. Oh, that's off Sydney hands. So Phoenix ball and quickly played on from Chatfield. Kimberly Green in the centre. The Swifts have picked up 4 darters in Pratley, Green, Jo Sutton and Jackie Murphy.
That was contact then on Selena Gilson. It was a good try, though. She kept on the right side of the goal ring and tried to have a go, but unfortunately got called for the contact. Great shot by Sinner.
4 from 6, and McMahon 4 from 4. So 8-7 Phoenix with under 5 to go in the first quarter. Obstruction against Chocolate.
You know what, I'm really enjoying this tussle from Kimberly Green and Natasha Chocolate. They're both going head-to-head there and giving each other a bit of biffo along the way, but it's great to watch the intensity of both those players. Bad feed, both.
Yeah.
Always start pumping someone up, and what happens?
Yeah, Kimberly just having a look at Catherine Cox saying, what did we do wrong there? What do you want from me? And as long as that communication is positive. Oh, Pratley does well to get it to Gilson, and no! Oh, Green has a second slice of bad luck.
She nearly had the twinkle toes right there, trying to keep out of that goal ring.
Oh, I think
Kept him well
Pratley's toe might have been over the line,
there
so maybe there's some justice there.
Oh, straight in.
I reckon Pratley was out, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Curran, McMahon.
Great drive by Wendy Jacobson to the corner.
And through Ingrid Dick to McMahon, and the challenge from Gerard, ineffective in the end. 9-7 Phoenix, and they've got the centre pass. They can open this up a little. They did lead by a few early. Ellis takes the mishandled ball. The pass was behind Sherrill.
It was great pressure by Monia Gerard to be right on Sherrill McMahon's tail, making her work for every ball. That's what she needs to do for the entire match.
And the defence is having some say in this first quarter. Another turnover. A pass over the fingertips of Gilson in that time. Curran.
Lucky.
Lucky. The harder I practice, the luckier I get. You know that one, don't you? Jacobson. Gerard nearly got away with that.
Yeah, she's asked the question to the umpire. It's probably a little bit of body contact on the way round, but certainly worth a shot.
Contact against Ellis. McMahon.
I don't know if you heard a guy in the crowd yell, but that was Sherrill McMahon's husband, Breck Mansfield, who's yelling support.
This is taking some getting, this goal, and finally it's there.
Not sure Julie Hallmark will be that happy with how many shots at goal the girls have taken to get that one through.
Touch from Jackie Jashari saying yes, McMahon saying no.
I like how Jackie's actually handling that.
Yeah.
You know, just saying no, it wasn't off you. She believes in her call and gets on with it.
Yeah. There's no need sometimes umpires treat the players like school kids, and I like that exchange. It was a very one-to-one.
She was like, come on, Sherrill, you know you touched it.
and even if you disagree with me, I got the whistle.
Exactly. Yeah, no use advancing, just questions. This is, you know, the intensity of this match. You know, they know it's do or die, these two teams. They're really gunning for the points. So there's a bit of passion out there. Of course you get heated.
McMahon.
Great feed again by Ingrid Dick.
I think Phoenix especially don't want to drift to a win-loss stat of 2-2.
Exactly.
And they can pull the Swifts back to 3-1 if Phoenix win here, and they'll be 3-1. And you've just had the Thunderbirds as the only unbeaten side after 4 rounds. They are yet to meet the Swifts as some of the Phoenix players warm up. Whoops. Ellis nearly cleans up Kate Wright.
She's come back so well from her knee reconstruction, Lizzie Ellis, to come out for those balls. And the crowd.
Dick saying, I'm not sure about that one.
Crowd's not happy.
Green to Prattley. This is the pass. Oh.
Well, she didn't probably have possession of the ball, which is probably what the umpire saw. She got a contact to the head, but maybe the ball had gone out of court before that.
Prattley. Cox baseline. Rolls across.
Good rebound there by Bianca Chatfield. Great positioning.
Excellent take from Kidd on the advance there. Pass nearly overshot her, and it did that time from her hands to Jacobson.
Oh, carry. Justice was done there. The ball didn't go through.
Well, it's turnover city at the moment. There's 19 between them. Kidd. And there's 15 seconds left. The Swifts will be trying to stop a 3-goal lead here for Melbourne, and they'll look to get it in quickly.
That was good that was let play on. Sina didn't have control, and Liz just grabbed the ball, tipped it out of court.
Needs to get the shot away. She does, but too late. No goal there. And a good first quarter from both teams. Phoenix out by a few, hauled back to level terms, then leading it by the 2 at quarter time. It's Melbourne Phoenix 12, Sydney Swifts 10. And Wendy Jacobson has had a good first quarter, back in the lineup after sitting out last week with an ankle problem. What have you made of her first 15 minutes, Eloise?
Look, I think she's moved extremely well and should be pumped up for this match. She was very disappointed at missing the Thunderbirds clash. And look, to tell you the truth, they probably needed her as well, her feeds and her drives. And it's like she's had a bit of a rest, but she's got off the floor there and kept going.
Is that the rest you mean?
Yeah.
That 2-second rest.
No, she's a great player, great feeds. You'll see her combine very nicely with Sherelle McMahon. They played a lot of junior state teams together. And that's obviously a key to watch of her game, the ability to feed to Sherelle.
And at this level in this league, your mid-court players have got to be able to mix and match, and I think you've got that at Phoenix.
Yeah, certainly. Look, worked hard over a number of years to develop a great attacking end. And look, Wendy Jacobson and Ingrid Dick have really cemented their spot.
Keep that going, all right? Just stay really dogged on your defence. Great, their defence is fantastic through there, but once we get the ball, you've got to get going. We're kind of standing in behind for 1 or 2 passes to see what's happening, where one of you has to go really hard straight away, all right, and open up the space for these guys, all right? Finish coming onto the ball. Some of you are starting to come off the ball a little. Just finish that last step going towards it. It's all right, don't worry about it.
So Julie Hornwick fairly positive about what she's seen so far, and the stats we said are mostly even, but Phoenix just edging away towards the end of that quarter.
Yeah, and you can see the attempts to it, coupled down by the Swifts, and that actually is the goals. Like, at the end of the day, they're both shooting around similar percentages. Penalties are even. Look, it's a tough contest. This is what you'd expect from these two teams.
So, an interesting first quarter, and Sam Dennis has been down there listening to the Swifts end. Sam.
Thanks, Steve. Well, I was listening to Julie during that quarter, and she was really emphasising for the girls to get close, don't give them any room in defence. Tighten up is what she was saying. You can't afford to give Phoenix any room. The attacking end for the Swifts is just not doing their usual rhythm, so she's decided to change Kath Cox back to goal shooter and put Susan Prattley back at goal attack. So hopefully this helps them get a bit more of a routine happening.
Thanks, Sam. Yes, Cox and Prattley. Cox more familiar perhaps at back at goal shooter. Do you like that move?
I do. I love Coxie at goal shooter. I think she's very dominant. She's a target for them. And, you know, when she gets her eye in and she's settled in that circle, she never misses. So I hope that that's a good move for them at this point in time.
Australian teammates. What do you talk about in moments like that?
Well...
Just a second. Selena Gilson and off to Gerard and Green as we start the second quarter. Yes, Australian teammates lining up on each other all over the place, but Cox and Chatfield, just a little conversation before this quarter began. What might they have said?
Funnily enough, they get along very well, and they are roommates when the Australian team tours everywhere. I'm sure that was going to say Sherelle. Catherine Cox was just saying, I'm ready for you.
You think, okay.
There you go. She gets that first one.
So the Swifts first to score in the second quarter, trailing by 2 at the first break. Let's see how the score swings. We had a number of changes of momentum in that Phoenix Thunderbirds match last week.
It was actually a bad throw by Sherelle. Should be very disappointed at that missed opportunity to take it down into a Phoenix goal circle.
Gerard, Pratley, Gilson. And I think Catherine was looking for a penalty more than the throw in there. She got more than she bargained for out of Bianca. Pratley. Phoenix.
Oh, I was probably unlucky. I thought actually it would have been a Swifts ball coming off Joanna Curran, but the umpire was right onto it and called it the other way. Great hands by Sherelle.
Too quick, but Ellis is there to take it out of the hands of Sinakid. She's reading those balls well. Gilsonen over the top to Green.
Great speed by Green. Oh.
Nice shot for goal, but...
Probably just needed to control her landing a little bit. She lost Natasha Chocolate.
Let's play on, but she's only been able to assist the Chocolate with the ball in.
Unfortunate on Ellie Broadbent there as well. I thought that could have just been play on rather than, or a Phoenix throw in rather than being put out of play. Great hands there by Susan Pratley.
Curran. Chocolate. Dick to the corner for McMahon. Jacobson top of the circle. Good roll from Sinakid and contact against Ellis. One-handed possession, I suppose, of Sinakid. Oops, a bit long. And a juggled ball through Gerard, Ellis and Gilsonen. Players not on court at the moment for the Swifts in Jackie Murphy. Her parents have made the drive up from Wagga to be here. I'd love her to get on, but in a tight match like this, it may not be the one that she gets on. But, Murphy's from Wagga to Melbourne on the chance of seeing their daughter play. Paul did not want to come down. There's Jackie Murphy on the far left there next to Joe Sutton. One of the 4 Canberra players they picked up in the off-season. Phoenix ball, 12 all, and 3 gone in second quarter. Oh, Jacobson put plenty on that. And Sinakid working with Ingrid Dick. Gerard defending, short shot.
Oh, nice follow-in for the rebound there by Sinakid.
That is physical in that circle.
Great skills by Monia Gerard. She's flicked it off to Selena Gilson and reclaimed it.
And the Swifts are making a good run here. Phoenix haven't scored in this second quarter. Pratley, contact from Curran. Purses the lips, can't believe the call went against her.
As all defenders do.
Jacobson. And Sinakid's stats have just dropped a little, 6 from 11. And another turnover at this attacking end for Phoenix. What's going on, Eloise?
They're actually just rushing it. Instead of they're actually shooting at Sina, she's gone to flick it off to Sherelle. You can't afford too many extra passes when you're playing the Sydney Swifts. Their defence end is phenomenal. So when you get your opportunity in there, you put the shot up.
And
no love lost.
Hip and shoulder that Jeff Southby would have been proud of. Catherine Cox and Monia Gerard shot Sherelle a filthy look after that one.
I think it's fantastic. They're both going for it. Whoa, she's flying across the floor.
My brother Mark, who plays for the Brumbies, doesn't tackle her that hard.
I'm sure she's played backyard rugby and had many a tussle with her brother.
Pratley. And the Swifts have scored 5 unanswered goals. Great run from the Sydney Siders. Sinakid.
Phoenix need to steady here. They need to capitalise there. They're going over the top. So let's present forward.
Really making some mistakes in that attacking third. Green nearly over a third that one, but she did well. Oh. Chatfield stuck the foot out. That's nearly a deliberate kick, but that doesn't matter. There was something in the circle.
There's a penalty on Joanna Curran. So Pratley gets the shot.
I think someone's going to get injured shortly and there'll be a timeout. Swifts have scored 6 in a row. Throw in to Phoenix.
Unfortunate there. Didn't realise it was so close to the edge of the court.
I think one more turnover. Oops. And Kimberly Green in and under Natasha Chocolate.
And it's a tough match today. And, oh, Natasha claims the ball, but Kimberly Green took her feet out and she did get the penalty.
Much needed goal here for Phoenix. Can McMahon? She can. And a big cheer goes up at Vodafone for the Phoenix first goal of the second quarter, and it took 6 minutes.
And they're the passes you can't really afford to do. Putting the ball up in the air is not a good option against the Swifts, but they do finish off.
And Phoenix have stopped the rot. They need a couple of turnovers themselves now. Gerard working with Green.
Oh, great ball by Bond to Green.
Well done, Curran. Read the pass beautifully, and the backup's there from Chatfield and Ingrid Dick.
Pratley will be disappointed with herself that she actually passed it out to try and reclaim a closer position. Probably just should have put the first one up.
And Gerard gets the rebound and just misjudged.
Oh, great take.
McMahon. And Phoenix 3 in a row. Trail by 1. Jacobson. Bit of a penalty count running against Phoenix now. 21 to 15. They were fairly even through the first quarter. Oh, goodness. Gilson and put Gerard under some pressure there. And Gerard's given up the contact.
It was a great fight for the ball. It was a loose ball and they were both running after it. Wendy probably just had a fraction earlier grab on it.
And Ellis all over Sherelle McMahon. The captain and vice captain having a great go. Who do we think's captain at the moment? Of the Australian
I'm saying
team?
co-captains.
Are you all right?
Well, they're both captains. It was unfortunate with what happened with Lizzie not captaining the Commonwealth Games. So Sherelle got her opportunity and she did a great job. So I call them co-captains. Then you're not doing injustice to either.
Norma Plummer is watching the match, I believe, today.
I think she'd love to be here watching this one, seeing all her troops out there fighting it out.
Senna Kidd trying to get back into the Australian team. Lots of players pressing for selection. I think on the evidence we've seen from Demelza Fellows in the last couple of weeks, you'll have selectors thinking about her again.
She came on against the Phoenix last week and certainly did her job.
She did well on Friday night in Brisbane as well. Cox. Swifts by 2. 6 1/4 minutes left in the second. Sydney gets set for the centre pass. And it rush it perhaps like the Adelaide Thunderbirds, who love that quick centre pass after the goal, don't they?
They do. It's a different type of setup. Swifts are more patient, working it through.
Green.
Oh, they've opened nicely.
Yeah, Cox was offering at the top of the circle. That drew eyes to her, and Gilson was open on the far side. Alison Broadbent. And time is called by
Monia
Gerard. Now, she's had a couple of heavy knocks, notably with Sherelle McMahon. Having an animated discussion with Wendy Jacobson, but Liz Ellis is having a terrific game for the Swifts in defence. She's taken some intercepts and rebounds.
She just reads the ball beautifully. She comes out and attacks those passes into the corner, has great rebound skills. She's lost nothing from coming back from her injury. It's like she never went missing for 6 months on the rehab program.
3 intercepts and 2 rebounds for Liz Ellis, 4 rebounds for Gerard. There's spring heel, but I say as you get older, the plyometrics, your vertical jump tends to just drop off a little, but Liz doesn't seem to have lost it. I think she's worked so hard to get that knee right that if anything, she's improved
Well, certainly. She looks so fit. She looks the fittest that I've seen her in a long time. And look, she did stick to her rehab program by the absolute letter. She did not let anything to chance. She did absolutely everything possible.
Phoenix trail by 3, having led by 2 at quarter time. Quite a turnaround here in the second quarter. Sinnakid.
It's a much better steady by Sherelle McMahon, enabling her to get her balance and feed in nicely to Sinanil. Kid. I keep saying it.
That's all right. It takes us a while.
Her husband will not like me.
Ah, he's a netballer. He understands. Cox. Great hold from Chatfield, and the shot was short. Careful when we say that. And Chocolate and Ingrid Dick getting in each other's way there. Broadbent, Gilson and Cox. Oh, risky, one extra pass. Contact against Cox.
It was great coming then by Natasha Chocolate. Bianca got a tip on it, and she was there to scoop up those loose balls.
So Phoenix get the feeling the next couple of goals in the last 5 minutes of this quarter crucial. Sydney have worked very hard to get to the front.
Their pressure in their defensive end has been amazing, and particularly on the shots. Now they're starting to sting for the Phoenix. They know they have to dig deep and put them in, even when they are challenged.
Phoenix
well
down.
done, Ali Broadbent.
Phoenix down 8-5 this quarter. The ball spills to Chatfield, and away come Phoenix again. Jacobson.
Advantage causing centre, advantage obstruction, goal attack, advantage obstruction centre.
McMahon leads Gerard out of the circle. And Broadbent.
Just offside there.
Down there.
It's a good try.
Advantage offside centre.
Sinnakid. Good setup from Phoenix. I think Ingrid Dick is playing as well as she ever has.
Certainly is. She's been, I think this is her 10th season in this league, along with Sherelle McMahon. Very experienced players.
Gerard. Sydney having to be very patient here to break down this Phoenix defence across this transverse line. McMahon.
She was just over that transverse line and offside, unfortunately.
Green. Pratley trying to get to the front. Pratley hasn't had many opportunities in this quarter. Desperate to get this one. Wrestles it away from Curran, and through it goes. Pratley 10 from 11. (9-6) the Swifts up this quarter for a 1-goal lead. Broadbent into the back of Ingrid Dick.
Bring defence contact.
I think the umpires actually called contact on Ali then.
Advantage contact with contact goal.
Contact against Gerard, so the penalty's just starting to roll through. The desperation evident in the play.
Still even. Great game.
Phoenix shooting at 68% to Sydney's 79. That's the difference at the moment. Phoenix have had 4 more attempts, locked together at 19 all. And lots to see on the ABC Netball website. There's the address for you, abc.net.au/netball, for the results and latest news and stories. Curran, Chocolate, Ingrid Dick. Oh, hands are over every pass.
It's great defensive pressure, and probably Ingrid will be disappointed with that. She stepped on and put herself under pressure.
Sydney presenting a couple of options of that transverse line with Broadbent and Gerard back there. Just gives you more angles to work with. Into the circle now, Pratley.
She's been presenting very well, Susan Pratley. The warm-up there by the Phoenix team. Simultaneous break, I think.
When did you last see a toss?
Well, I thought it was when an umpire couldn't make a decision. But
I haven't seen one for 2 years. Can I tell you, in a televised game?
Well, that's what I thought was kind of being phased out.
Yeah. McMahon. And the Swifts still have it by 1.
Sophie O'Shea and Tale Barry there in the Phoenix group, sitting behind the bench.
Broadbent to take it. Last minute, second quarter. What a match we've got. I've played some of these over the years.
Bianca Chatfield there just wrapping around the body of Catherine Cox. So Coxie gets a penalty pass or shot. And as casual as you like it, she pops it in.
Turned 30 this week. Didn't like really being reminded of it. Catherine Cox.
Isn't 30 the new 21?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, gosh, there's some hands up for that one. Both Chatfield and Curran trying to stop that last goal. Maybe it won't be the last. Still 15 seconds. That's plenty of time. But Phoenix can execute here. Jacobson, McMahon. Oh, Gerard wins out.
Beautiful defence there. She swung around, taking that intercept really well.
Swifts by 3. Last second. Cox. That one won't count either. But they'll be well pleased with that. They've won that quarter by 5 to take a 3-goal lead. The Sydney Swifts really relishing the job in the second quarter, and they lead it at Vodafone against Melbourne Phoenix by 23 to 20.
Join us on ABC2 for the Mantra Music Specials.
She said that one of the last things that falls into place after a knee reconstruction in the rehab is your turning, the ability to turn on a sixpence, if you like. She felt she was turning like the Queen Mary, but I've never seen evidence of that. She seems to have all her mobility.
Good work there by Natasha Chocolate. Put the pressure on.
Paula's knees. Alison Broadbent's had both knees done. Our colleague Liz Boniello the same.
I think we need to be sponsored by an orthopaedic surgeon.
McMahon, Ingrid Jacobson to the floor again, does up quickly and works to the corner, but the ball falls to Liz Ellis once more. So Phoenix yet to score in this third quarter. They're starting third as they did the second, and that's dangerous. Gerard, as they work it across the court. Pratley. Cox to Green. Swinging over to Gilson, and Pratley having to work hard to create some space, but that's the patience you talk about.
It is the patience, and Catherine Cox doing a lot of workload and talking and telling him where to swing the ball. Great leadership there shown by Catherine.
Swift scored the last 2 of the second quarter and the first 4 of the third. Make that 5. So it's 7 in a row and a 28-20 lead. Curran, exasperated. Somebody to pass to.
Oh, and it's yours, Steve.
Yeah, I did well, didn't I? The camera doesn't come around here to see the take with the pen in one hand. It was tough. Jacobson. Ingrid Dick knocks up the loose ball. Send the kid out of the circle. 2-on-1 from McMahon. And they're Ellis and Gerard. No fun to be had there.
Fair bit of talent in that circle.
You've got 4 players who have, or still are, playing for Australia in that circle.
And you've got Ali Broadbent at the wing defence, recently retired. Australian player playing wing defence with Sydney Swifts.
And 3 out of the 4 at the other end. And Joanna Curran, one day, I reckon, will be playing for Australia. She's got enormous ability. So.
Very smart girl. Reads the play extremely well.
McMahon. Oh, dear. That was never on. That's pressure can create those mistakes even when, over that particular incident, there wasn't that much over the ball.
No, it wasn't much pressure over Sherelle, and she'd be disappointed that she threw that ball. I think she thought Sinna Kidd, should I say, was going out on the lead, and unfortunately she pulled out of it, but the ball had already gone. Swift's ball, they're attacking well. Possession, they've called.
Possession for Pratley. Out it comes, and Curran gets the last laugh. They won't be laughing unless they win, though. Chocolate, Jacobson. Sinna Kidd leading out, doing a lot of work away from the circle.
Nice quick hands there by Ingrid Dick into Sherelle McMahon.
And Ellis has the elevation. And Lizzie Ellis is up to how many rebounds? Just the 3, but 4 intercepts. 7 important possessions for Ellis.
Contact on Bianca Chatfield, coming around the body of Catherine Cox.
7-1 quarter for Julie Fitzgerald's Sydney Swifts. Kimberly Green. I think she's a young player who is benefiting enormously from playing in this experienced lineup. In that first game we did in Melbourne, she gave up half a dozen turnovers in the first quarter.
Yeah,
and then settled into the match and played terrific
passing
netball.
Errors, but certainly she's improved over even the last few weeks with her feeds and her drives. She always had it in her though. She's maybe just had an off night that night we saw her.
Well, only for 1 quarter was my point, really. She recovered well. Kidd.
Good shot by Kidd.
9 to go in the third. Green picks up the scraps. Pratley. Fox, no one to pass to in the circle. Pratley was still caught outside. She's quick over the first couple of metres, isn't she, Susan?
She is. Decisively, too.
Chatfield, rocket pass to Ingrid Dick. Wendy Jacobson, cross court to Chocolate.
I think that pass was actually from Sherelle McMahon meant for Wendy Jacobson, but Kidd pulled it in anyway.
You shoot from range, and it'll come out. Gerard, it's a swooped across the circle.
She read that rebound very well. It's one of her great strengths.
Gilsonen. Skill in itself, do you think, reading the ball off the ring?
It is, and particularly when you are in a defensive stance, recognising that the goal is going to miss and then trying to work out where it's going to go.
Susan Pratley requiring some attention from Sean Mungavan.
I think it's something to do with her foot because she's taking her shoe off. Julie Horweg talking to the Phoenix team.
21 turnovers against Phoenix, 19 for the Swifts. And there is played with an intensity this match that, as we've alluded to, is going to produce a few. But I don't think the coaches would be thrilled.
No, they wouldn't, because they want to make sure that when you do get a turnover, you capitalise on it. But there's been far too many little things been happening, bad decisions like that one, bad choices in your throws like that one.
How are you doing, Eloise? I'm concerned about you. Phoenix is trailing here. You all right? You going okay?
Look, you know, as I say, in a game of netball, you know, unless it's a 20-goal blowout, you're still in it because you get every second centre pass.
You were doing a brilliant job being neutral. I said that before the game, and I'll say it now. Outstanding.
I'm talking up good netball, regardless of team.
That's the way. A bit more attention on the left ankle for Susan Pratley. As you've observed over the years, folks, they always come in with some preventative strapping.
And we have a change to the Melbourne Phoenix lineup. We've got Sarah Wall coming in at wing attack, Wendy Jacobson coming off.
Okay. So maybe her ankle, Wendy Jacobson's, is causing a bit of trouble, but in comes Sarah Wall.
It's great to see Sarah Wall out there. She's been training very well. I do go down every Wednesday night still. I can't leave the place.
Yeah.
Been training very well, so well deserved.
Contact.
So Joanna can't get the ball cleanly. She went through 2 players.
Somewhat. And an early test of the restrapped ankle of Pratley. And contact against Pratley in the end.
Play that on. That wasn't a contact. Let's just have you go for the rebound, both of them.
So Phoenix will be hoping that injection of Sarah Wall can spark something. Curran. Causing the contact. There was some miscommunication between Wall and Kidd. And McMahon, she had her hands all over that one. It was poor from the Swifts that time.
Contact on Liz Ellis. Unfortunate, she came through around the body quite cleanly, actually.
So how's the contact? She just looks like she's
Well,
contacting the
obviously
ball.
the umpire saw that she was coming around and pinged her. I didn't think it was.
Oof. That was a perfect pass amongst the defenders to pick out Sinakit. And Phoenix have got 3 in a row.
Be interesting to see how Ali Broadbent goes on Sarah Wall, because she is a zippy and fast player. Probably not unlike Sherelle McMahon, so she should do okay.
Pratley gives off again. Oops.
Replay.
Oh, how did she have control of that?
I am not sure. I know I'm not the umpire, but we could ask her after the match.
Well, it probably didn't matter because it got batted back to a Phoenix player. But,
Oh, she's done well there trying to challenge that ball. Kimberly Green.
If you're going to replay a ball, the ball has to be dropped, which infers you had control of it.
Yeah.
How did she have control of that?
She only ever had one hand on it.
Contact from defence, Goldberg.
Play on.
Unless you're kind of dribbling at basketball.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Contact there on Monia Gerard.
We can bang on about the replay rule, can't we? Just talk us through it, and here it comes.
So they're saying she had control there and then dropped.
Maybe she did drop it, actually.
Yeah.
She had two hands to it. I'm nearly prepared to take that back. Really?
Oh, Steve. Contact again on Monia. She's got 7 penalties to her name.
Phoenix have scored the last 5. Watch out.
See, I told you so.
Contact against Green. Chocolate. McMahon, Wall. Is enjoying herself out there, and Sinakid can't quite. Oh, yes, she can with the second attempt that fell through hands.
It was a good tip by Sherelle McMahon. He got a bit of airtime and hung in the air and tipped it back into her teammate, Sinakid.
Ingrid Dick.
Well read by Al. Unfortunate Ali Broadbent. I thought she came around Sarah Wall flat-footed. She read it nicely, but the umpires called her.
Kid looked well set for that goal. Never looked like missing. 7 in a row for Phoenix. Gerard to Pratley.
So they've got to make sure they score this time, Sydney. Phoenix have had the last 7.
Obstruction against Chocolate. Green to Cox. Yes, Ingrid was it.
That was Sherelle McMahon. Captain trying to yell to her troops. Great move. Big roll to the post by Susan Pratley.
And Pratley on 17 from 20. McMahon, Wall. She's come on very enthusiastically. Wants every pass. And a slick delivery to McMahon.
Oh, off balance there, Sherelle.
Good position though for the rebound from Sinakid. Green bounces it to Cox. Gerard. Just having to be patient. Contact against Curran in the circle.
We've got to make sure the Sydney Swifts, they keep presenting, keep coming forward. Oh, well kept in there by Susan Pratley, but unfortunately no one there coming for her. They'd all left the edge of the ring. So it's a Phoenix throw-in on the sideline.
Chatfield gets it set. Chocolate, Wall, McMahon. There's a new confidence about Phoenix in the last few minutes, Eloise.
Sarah Wall has injected some enthusiasm in there, running around, demanding the ball, feeding well.
Contact was inside the circle. McMahon can take the step and not quite take the goal.
Great rebound by Alice.
Good settler. And the Swifts lead has been trimmed to just 3. Cox. Working with Gilsonen and thieved it. Is such a word? There is tonight, this afternoon. Curran to Wall. Penalties have evened out. 38-34 against Phoenix. They were 7 or 8 more than the Swifts just after half-time. We're closing in on three-quarter time.
Actually unfortunate there on Monia Gerard. I thought probably Sinner pushed her way in, but she'll take it anyway and misses the shot, but Sherelle's free to go.
McMahon, 13 from 20, Kidd 17 from 26, so 65%, and they're still in it. They've pulled the Swifts back to 77%.
Good umpiring, allowed for the contest.
Pratley. She won't miss from here. The Phoenix have had 2 more attempts. Trail by 4. Kidd, great take. Wall. Oh, just got to get it to her. She was absolutely open.
Great speed, because when you have Monia Gerard and Liz Ellis coming at you, you can sometimes get a little bit scared of that. So she did well as a young player to go, no, I'm not going to throw this away. I'm going to feed it well. And Sherelle, great defense.
Clipped on the back of the head by Gerard, and again it's a good no call from the umpires, but they throw it away, Phoenix. Gilsonen. Whoa, Broadbent and Wall just clean each other up.
But it's great netball to watch. This is what the fans come to see.
Gilsonen to Cox, and Green available in the pocket. And that's a call of a deliberate offside continually against Ingrid Dick, so the shot is offered to Catherine Cox, and she spurns the opportunity. Chocolate. And the last few seconds of the third. Kidd might run out of time here. Oh, they will. Just lost the chance to do something about the lead of 3, as it was at half-time, but Phoenix were in all sorts of trouble, but made a great run at the Swifts. And I think they'll be fairly buoyant about their chances in the last quarter. It's the Swifts 34-31. Monia Gerard back from knee reconstruction surgery last season, and she is having a whale of a game.
She's been fantastic. Her presence on court is phenomenal. She really demands the ball, and she certainly is one player that I can say in the history of our game of netball to be able to run with Sherelle McMahon. It's a very hard task, but she does it with ease. She comes through, drives down into their attack end, but also crumbs or dishes off with one hand, plays on. She's really highly skilled and a phenomenal athlete. Oh, took that well, wasn't happy with Sherelle McMahon then giving her a shirt front. She gets up and plays on, and it probably makes her play even harder.
Great athlete, an unusual person in some ways too. She'll say the most outrageous things. She's got a wicked sense of humour and has got the game to back up the talk. And that was a beautifully read rebound. We said how well she reads the ball off the rings.
They just use her so well coming into attack, the Sydney Swifts, and I think that is a great part of her game.
Julie Fitzgerald and Liz Ellis do most of the talking.
Don't forget, you can get your prizes from the merchandise area in the foyer. Are you okay, Melbourne? Are you doing all right? Have a look at the scoreboard there. Have a look at the scoreboard. Where's the Phoenix performance? Show us your Phoenix colours.
And having a chat there, Julie, to Vanessa Ware, who's going to come on at wing attack. So Kimberly Green looks like she's getting an early rest. Let's have a look at some stats to this point, Eloise.
Well, obviously the penalties are quite even. Rebounds are even as well. Look at the intercepts. Again, they're even. It's a tight contest here. As I said before, it's the percentage of the goals Melbourne Phoenix, to get into this game, they've really got to make sure they keep capitalising on their shooting.
Sam Dennis has been listening at the Melbourne Phoenix end. Sam.
Well, the Phoenix came straight off the bench and Julie went straight up to Sinakid and patted her on the back and said, keep doing exactly what you're doing. Just watch your passes around the circle because Lizzie and Mon tend to pick them off. They're playing a lot smarter this time. The attack end, instead of going over the top, which is what Liz and Mon are great at picking off, they're just playing smartly. There's sharp passes, so if they can just keep that up, then they're in with a chance.
They certainly are as we get ready for the last quarter. 34-31 the visitors. Looking for a little Phoenix revenge here, having lost the grand final last year 61-44 and the major semi just by 2 goals.
And then she skids, oh, and throws it up and it goes in. And she even knows it's lucky. She ran away with a giggle.
So it's in a kid. Pratley. And the Swifts answer.
And Julie Prendergast has come on at goal defence for the Melbourne Phoenix. Joanna Curran been taken off.
So we've got 2 wing attacks, a Wall and Ware. Kid. Short. Yeah, that was Ellis's ball all the way. Contact in the end was against McMahon. Cox, Gilson and Pratley. Nice roll. That was very Kristen Heinrichish.
Great pressure on the shot by Julie Prendergast.
Gilson has patted it back.
Oh, the umpire's
down too. Now, she's made the right call too, Kate Wright. Well done. I don't know how she managed to see that and took it up, make the call. Unflappable. Well done.
I've had a few players fall over, actually. I'm thinking there's something wrong with the court.
And Kate Wright's just flexing the right ankle. I hope she's all right. Down she goes.
Recovered well.
Composure. Gilson and in to Pratley, unmarked. You see, I would like to have seen a shoot there. Prendergast is on at goal defence, replacing Curran.
Pratley looks so confident at goal. She turns when she gets in line and gets in rhythm. She rarely misses.
Just a point about that Prendergast-Curran substitution, Eloise. When we got the team sheets at the start of the match, Prendergast's name had been crossed out and Curran put in at goalkeeper by the manager. So I wonder, Julie Hornweg was in 2 minds, or was that a mistake?
Well, I think she is. And when you watch them train, you know, it's very even. And I think maybe because Catherine Cox in the end came out to goal attack at the start of the match, maybe she thought Joanna Curran was going to run with her and save Julie for later.
Where cross court to Gilson. Always risky, those transverse passes. Where Cox, she can work to Gilson, who's broken away in the corner from Ingrid Dick. Now Pratley. And the Swifts have scored 4 in a row here. Break it open, 38-32. Phoenix have shown they can make a run back at them. Pratley, a little swat round the corner from Prendergast, ineffective. So that's nearly a replay.
They've called obstruction on Bianca Chatfield for creeping in.
And Ingrid Dick just venturing in offside. You could argue it was deliberate, but it's under the eyes of a different umpire this quarter. Cox. Well, she worked to the front of Prendergast, but it went to Pratley. And Pratley on very healthy stats. 22 from 26, 85%.
Very good shooting there by Susan Pratley.
Wall. Ingrid Dick gets it to McMahon, and McMahon rifles it. Just a few feet. Gilson and Pratley. Broadbent looking for Kath Cox. Contact and nod. You don't see that anymore. Sarah Wall says, "You were right,
Oh, I'd like to see the replay of that one. Unfortunately, Bianca. Julie Prendergast got called for the contact inside the circle, so...
Contact from defence outside.
Chocolate.
Contact keeper, where you are, shooter.
Well, 3 or 4 penalties, and Cox just walks it in. That's the fall you wanted to see.
See, tripping over someone's foot isn't a contact.
Oh, she gave her a hip before that, though. We can disagree about that one, Ellen.
Well, we can. That's one.
Sinner. Kidd. Goal.
Nice shot there.
Still looks like the shooting percentage below 70 is going to hurt Phoenix in this game. 67 to 77. The attempts are almost identical. Swifts have just had one more, but lead it by 6. Oh, that was going to be a rolled ball, just about. But fortunately for the Swifts, there was another penalty. Vanessa Ware took a big risk there.
She did, and Catherine Cox is really having a key role in this game. She's settling them very well. Compared to the Melbourne Phoenix, what Kath is doing is making sure her shots count. And that's what you have to do in these big matches.
Ingrid Dick. And Phoenix throw in. They need this one, down by 7.
Offside centre.
And Ingrid Dick was offside.
Well, she called her for deliberately going offside in the last third, last quarter.
Nearly got it back. Where Gilsonen. A bit of confusion amongst Pratley and Cox, but they worked something out. Cox to shoot over Prendergast, and that is a killer. 42-34. Now, just to explain here, I want to show this rolled ball again. Not that it mattered, but where, I mean, it was bouncing, but barely.
Yeah,
would you have called that?
Probably. I mean, you can't roll a ball,
No.
so it did look like a roll, but they were calling the penalty prior to that. So maybe she was rolling it into place. Who knows?
No, she wasn't.
We'll give her the benefit of the doubt.
It was a 2-inch bounce, I guess. Yeah, that's all it has to do. Maybe she would have got away with it. It doesn't matter now.
Nice ball there by Natasha. She'd be disappointed with that one. It's the pressure that the Swifts are putting on is intense.
Well done, Chocolate, but it spills to Gerard, and it's on to Pratley in a trice. Cox to shoot over Chatfield. Oh, no, out it comes. Prendergast gives it straight to Cox. What was that? She'd like to take that one back. Oh, a gift goal.
Something you can't do.
Contact goal first, centre third.
Not on.
Swifts by 10 now.
I know Julie is very disappointed with that. You can tell by the look of her face. Great movement by the Swifts.
Yeah.
Great hands by Catherine, nice and quick.
Pratley. Well, Julie Fitzgerald took a bit of a punt that Vanessa Ware could carry on the good work of Kimberly Green, and it was no punt at all because she's done exactly as the coach wanted.
Offside throw in. Wing defence contact.
The great thing, I suppose, Eloise, about having good quality mid-court players and extras on the bench is that you can use those fresh legs because they're the ones doing the fierce amount of running across the game. Not to say that you lazy goalers don't do anything, but my point is if you can replace a mid-courter with another one of similar ability, it's great.
It certainly does. And over the years with the Melbourne Phoenix, we've had that ability, and it's something that maybe the Swifts have looked at because they haven't had that. And certainly this year, this is something that they can use and capitalise on because fresh legs in the mid-court certainly helps. Keeps those drives and moves coming forward into the attack end.
Contact on the ball. Prendergast. Cox now. Yeah, I'm trying to turn Joe Sutton, a wing defence mainly at the darters, into another centre. So I guess they got Jackie Murphy as another wing defence. Some depth there.
Oh, taken.
Super take from McMahon. But she and Sinekid shooting at 68%. You have to say that Ellis and Gerard have done a great job putting pressure over every shot and work them hard around the circle. That's what it's about too, isn't it? You make them a bit bit puffed before they take the shot.
Yes, it certainly is. If you can get the goalers on the move and get the goal shooter driving out and doing a lot of work, by the time they get into there to put the shot up, they're pooped, they're trying to settle, and certainly it can upset their rhythm.
Has run to the centre and back. Now she's at the post and gets it. Just distracting her for my own interest about just what we were saying. I mean, she's run to the centre, run back, taken the shot and taken the goal. One very fit athlete. Girard, little pass around the corner.
A little no flick off.
Bratley bounces one around the problem. But it's come off Phoenix for a swift ball. Cox, Gilson and Bratley. Oh, gee, they could have given up a contact there. Cox on Prendergast, but Kate Wright says swift throw in. Yep, that's fair enough.
Contact there by Julie Prendergast, just coming through after Catherine Cox had actually taken the ball, flicked the ball out of her hands.
Cox on 71%. Pratley's the standout shooter at the moment on 26 from 31, 84. So 77 opposed 69 in terms of shooting percentages at a team level. Ingrid Dick. Wilson and cross to Ware and Cox.
Great move, drove out hard out of her attacking goal circle and took Bianca Chatfield with her, but dodged back to the post. And great defence there by Selena Gilsonen, getting the tip on the centre pass.
Ware, Cox.
Contact, further around, please.
Thought you were saying where is Cox? But she's right there. She's passed it nicely over.
Pratley. I think, considering the fairly limited build-up that the Swifts had in their pre-season with Commonwealth Games athletes away, Broadbent didn't even play the first round.
And injuries as well.
But they've settled this lineup well to take this out as they're going to do against the Swifts. Now, this is back-to-back losses for Phoenix, 61-56 last week.
It'll actually be unknown territory for the Phoenix, having to cope with 2 losses in a row. That hasn't happened for a while.
Hand on the shot. That's not the ball, not the hand, says the umpire. Chatfield.
That's what any young defender coming up should watch Bianca then, even though Susan Pratley and Catherine Cox were quite close to the post. A lot of defenders wouldn't bother putting their hand up, but Bianca was all over it, hoping that they'd miss.
McMahon. Obstruction against Ellis. Well, she thought she might have got that just right, but she always does.
She was just having a little rest, I think. Taking her time to get the ball back.
McMahon has just lifted her stats to 72% from 68 just a few moments ago. Wall. Well, it was a good idea, but you've got to be quick to receive a pass that's just off the hands that smartly. Where Pratley, Cox. Under 2 minutes to go. Five times champions, Melbourne Phoenix. In fact, they've only finished once below 3rd, and that was in 1999. What were you doing that year? You just taking it easy. Finished 5th.
I think Liz Boniello did her first knee that year. That might have had something to do with it.
All right. Pratley. We've picked up an excellent player here in Susan Pratley.
But I must say that when Liz Boniello did have her injuries, it enabled us to blood one of Australia's top defenders now, and that is Bianca Chatfield. So it was a bad thing for Lizzie, but certainly a great thing for Australian netball to have Bianca come through and learn and get the experience.
It's the Swifts by a dozen inside the last minute as Ware. Cox rifles them past to Gilson, and it's against Chocolate top of the circle.
She's had a good game, Cox. As soon as I say that, see, commentators voodoo.
Curse, yeah, that's how it works.
She's been really strong down there in their attack end and led, which has been great as a vice captain of the club.
A few disappointed Phoenix fans leaving Vodafone Arena, and we've got an injury in the very last few seconds. She's not done anything serious as she receives, it's Heidi Pollington,
It's Heidi Pollington, and it's her ankle that she's, if I can lip read correctly.
Well, there's only 20 seconds to go in the match. Terrible. A bad injury came in the last minute. She certainly doesn't want to see out the last few seconds. Tears of some pain being wiped away, but Sherelle's as always, had a great match.
Great tip off there, tapping it to her goaler.
That'd test out your ankles. McMahon on 19 from 26, not a normal high standard or high shooting return.
Yeah, she'll be disappointed with her statistics, but she has done an awful lot of work around the outside of the circle as well.
Ellis away to Gilsonen. Only a few moments left as the Swifts put the finishing touches on a good win, one that will give them encouragement for later in the season. You're looking at two top four sides here, and Cox got that one through just in time. 52 to 40. As the players shake hands, an unusual end to the match.
Well, certainly an unusual.
53-40 should be.
Certainly an unusual match, the way we had a time called and Sherelle McMahon having her injury. That's not good for the Melbourne Phoenix. I'll be disappointed if she's injured.
It was 23-20 at half-time. The Swifts dominant in the second half, although at three-quarter time the lead was also only 3. Julie Fitzgerald can be very proud of what the team has done here. Broadbent, Gerard and Ellis in particular provided a platform in defence that helped them set up the win.
Certainly their defence was absolutely phenomenal, and great hands over pressure all the time.
Well, Susan Prattley is with Sam Dennis. Sam.
Hey Susan, great game. Were you happy with it?
Yeah, I was really happy with it. Against the Phoenix, you have to step up, and I guess I stepped up tonight, which is a good thing.
You started off at goal shooter, you moved to goal attack. What was the reasoning behind that one?
We started out with Kath out, thinking we'd have a bit more movement in the circle, but Kath wanted to come back in, so I went out.
Great, congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
So Catherine pulled the reins there. That's an interesting little insight into what happened there.
Wanted to get back and have a rest in the hammock down there. That's what I used to say.
I'm sure Natasha Chocolate's probably a little disappointed with what's happened today, but she's down there now with Sam.
Hey Tash, unlucky. I guess it didn't really work out the way you wanted. What went wrong out there?
Definitely didn't turn out the way we wanted, and actually I think most people will be pretty disappointed in their performance. We sort of didn't really get the flow in attack that we liked. The ball was sort of getting intercepted, and it was absolutely flying down court, so I think we need to go back to basics, sort of get the ball moving and flowing in attack, and obviously in the defence end we need to hold it up a little bit more. It was coming down far too fast, and obviously when you've got Coxie down the end, and she's pretty much unstoppable at sometimes, so yeah.
I'm coming off a loss from last week. How did your preparation differ from weeks before?
Training was actually a lot harder this week, and we were sort of just going back to basics, getting the flow and really knuckling down on the defence end. So we were actually pretty positive coming into this game and hoping we'd lift from last week, but yeah, unfortunately it didn't pan out that way.
Unlucky. Hopefully good luck for next week.
Thanks very much, man.
Just a few differences in stats, not many though. There's 5 turnovers difference between them, but in the end, it's rebounds, penalties, not a lot in it. So,
well, it certainly wasn't. It was really the shooting percentages that was the key factor to the match. And obviously, yeah, 68% shooting percentage for the team for Phoenix wasn't that good.
Well, Alison Broadbent on Friday night was helping us out in commentary and playing tonight. She's now with Sam.
Ali, great game. What were you most happy with tonight?
Oh, look, I think it's just fantastic that Mon and Liz and I, we love playing together up the back end there, and we're having a lot of fun. And Sel moving into the centre, I think, is just gelling really nicely. And I think our attack end just worked so well together tonight. They took a little while to get into it, but once they got into it, they worked superbly.
Half-time, what did Julie say to you?
Work harder. No, basically just keep the short passes coming, keep the patience there, and really try and have the drives onto the ball. I think that's last week we didn't really have the drive onto the ball, and that's something we wanted to work on tonight.
Okay, you've got an ice pack on your knee. Is it anything serious?
No, just bad knees.
Next week, so what can you take from this game and put on to next week?
Look, I think we've got a great combination. We've got some girls sitting on the bench there. It'd be nice to get them on the court, and we've got a lot of depth there, and I think we've got the Darters next Friday night, so it'll be interesting to see how they go, and I'm sure they're getting better each week, but I think we just need to get bigger and better each week and try and work on our own game.
Well, congratulations, great game, Ali.
Thanks.
Yes, they do indeed have the Darters next week, and that might be an opportunity, Eloise, to get some of their bench players on, particularly Murphy and Sutton and Erin Bell.
Well, certainly. It'd be great to get those girls on and give them an opportunity. And when you've got ends like you have with Coxie down there and Alice down one end, you can fiddle around with your mid-court and give everyone else a go, I think, and keep those two stable.
Let's have a look at some stats out of this match between Melbourne Phoenix and Sydney Swifts.
Well, penalties were a bit higher there for the Melbourne Phoenix. In the end, I think they were a little bit undisciplined, but rebounds even, turnovers was pretty high by both teams, and I think that was because it was a high standard. Intercepts quite even, and attempts, you know, Sydney Swifts had more, but certainly they capitalised on what they did have, and they shot 78% to Melbourne Phoenix, disappointing 68% shooting percentage. They'll be going back to the training session this week and focusing on that.
Sinnakid, 64%, Sherelle McMahon, 73%. I just want to contrast that with last week when they shot 80% and 93% respectively against the Adelaide Thunderbirds. I mean, it's a huge difference.
It does, and look, to be in the match, you need to shoot over 80% as a team total. And I will guarantee that on most netball matches, if you get that percentage by the team total, you'll be doing okay.
Sam Dennis once again.
Sarah, great game. That's your first game against the Swifts. How did it go?
Yeah, obviously not the result that we wanted, but it was fantastic to come on court and just to give it everything. But yeah, we've got plenty more up our sleeve.
It was really tough out there. Did you get bumped around a lot?
Yeah, I know. The physical presence on the court is a lot different to state league standards, so I mean that's obviously a big difference, but yeah, we've just got to learn to toughen up and stand up tall.
How was your preparation coming into the game?
We had great preparation. We had 3 court work sessions, and Julie had in place everything that we needed to know. I just think that maybe we need to work on a few more strategies, but that comes with practice and things.
At half-time, what did Julie say to you?
She talked about working on our angles and cutting to the top. We really focused on getting out attacking end positioned well for the goalers, but just to keep driving and just to give our best.
Well, good luck for next week.
Yeah, thank you.
One of the positives out of that match will be that they got Sarah Wall on there, and what do you learn in your first match against the Swifts?
Well, certainly how tough it is on Ali Broadbent. She's a big body and presence, so certainly she would find that challenging, but I think Sarah had a great game to come on, and it was tough for her. We were down, but I think she did an all right job.
Swifts will be pleased to have got that result. Let's have a look at the table now after 4 rounds, and it's still the Thunderbirds on top, but the Swifts with them. They're the 2 teams that remain unbeaten. The Orioles and Phoenix are 3rd and 4th. The Orioles 3 wins, Phoenix 2, and then we've got a few teams on a win apiece. The Firebirds, the Jagers and the Kestrels. The Darters still looking for their first points. Next week on ABC2, we'll be back in Melbourne, but at Waverley for the Kestrels match against the Adelaide Thunderbirds, live from 8 o'clock Friday night. Saturdays on ABC TV. Join us for Super Series bowls. Next week, it's the men's singles final from the World Cup in Warilla. Then at 6, the ultimate sporting quiz show, hosted by Ashley Bradnam. Head-to-head, put your own sporting knowledge to the test. Hope you've enjoyed the afternoon of netball at Vodafone Arena. I'm Steve Rebellion. Goodbye for now.